Hey guys,
What's up?
Izzy's teching right now. We're trying to.
Do you see it?
I don't see anything. I see us. Is it a like a YouTube video or oh there you go. There you go.
I'm just giving the most neutral take I can possibly give, and obviously I'm arbitrary to myself. With that said, I believe that what Wizard is saying in the macro scheme, the big picture of the world, is true, and I agree. However, Izzy's microscope, what she's talking about in particular, I think that she feels disrespected from how you reacted your words towards her last night. That's the most objective I can be.
Yeah, well, and I don't want her to be sugar-coated anywhere because I'm not the only one that's going to respond to you like this.
You're not the only one that's going to be disrespectful.
Exactly.
But again, you're missing the whole point.
Do you think you're going to go around the rest of your life improving everybody else that disrespects you? That's an inner feeling thing.
No, I don't care about anybody. Your opinion does not matter.
And if you don't care, then why would you feel disrespected? That's my point. You don't care.
You showed a lot of ignorance.
Okay.
Just educate yourself.
Oh, I will. But the to me, those are the people I'm
in Iraq via your actions.
I
mean, I know that you moved here, and I don't want to get too personal. I just want to. Right. Okay.
Right. No, it was right after they kidnapped my sister and my friend. They shot my friend in front of my sister. And the reason why my sister was kept alive is because my friend said that's not Izzy, which saved her life. Then actually Josh, Hippie, my husband's unit, were part of the unit who rescued my sister 6 days later with the special forces, So after that, there were a bunch of events happened. And then it was just like my family now is a target. So I had to get them out.
Gotcha. Okay. Look, I want to say before I hop on, we have another panelist actually who was there last night. Before I put you on, I just want to say, from my purview, that's something that most people, men and women, have not had to do nor done, etc. And, good on you. And it does sound like a lot of adversity, as somebody pointed out here. I mean, I always frame things as it sounds like, just because I don't ever want to sound as if I was there in telling stories. So I try to be.
So by the way, we're at this point, he is showing a stream that happened a day before, where a bunch of men who never served a day in their lives were very disrespectful, saying how they don't respect the government, they don't trust the government, and how this shouldn't have happened, and none of the war should have happened, and how they are all against it. So the next day, Base showed some of those clips, and here, I'll get to them.
As neutral as possible. But anyways, good on you. And here we have El Perro Wizard. How are you?
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, Izzy. And I just want to make real sure, Izzy, we're cool. I'm just a very passionate man. You ask anybody that knows me, I get passionate about this. I'm tired of seeing, and it's not a victim me or a victim you, because everybody seems to forget about the children that are watching all this, that don't have a hand in it. And that's my biggest beef, because that's the way I was raised up, in all kinds of turmoil. And I can't imagine, through what I've seen in life, that there aren't many people in this world that are brought up the same way, whether they're in a war-torn country or here on American soil. It's all insanity to me. People need to get right.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you were disrespectful.
Yeah, that was kind of a ramble, wasn't it?
What you're talking about right now. Yes. So
Well, when it comes to all,
Yeah, no idea what the guy's talking about.
no, nobody knows. I mean, it was just like, okay, what does that has anything to do with the fact that you were so disrespectful the night before, telling me how a woman, should not be in that field, and how all the men, both sides, the Americans and the Iraqis, failed me because I shouldn't have been working for the US. And he doesn't believe that any woman or any female soldier should be in the US military as well.
You know, I guess he doesn't realize that in my experience in Iraq, um, and it was well after the initial invasion, 2006, 2007 timeframe,
Mhm.
the general population was happy that Saddam and his sons were gone.
Thank you.
The general population was extremely happy. The the parts of his inner circle, I guess, they weren't very
Mhm.
happy. Um,
Right.
but overall, I mean, every place we went, we were never we were welcomed very warmly by a lot of the different little villages that we went to. Uh, it was pretty cool.
And that's what I tried to
So
relate to him. Because then he kept saying, oh, this was actually about the money, the oil. I said, whether it was about the money, the oil, whatever, that's fine. That's fine. However, they did remove Saddam, which was a big problem in our country. Then he went on tangent about how the men should have stood up to Saddam. And I said, have you heard of Kurdistan and what happened to Kurdistan? Have you heard of the
yeah, no
mass
shit.
grave? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
just he
yeah.
why did then he goes, why didn't you guys vote him out?
So vote him out.
I
So
know.
like we were in Mosul, and
Yeah.
we would go up to Dahuk and Erbil
Yeah.
and those parts of Iraq that are in Kurdistan. And you know what was funny? We were in Mosul,
Yeah.
and this was during the push. So a lot of the bad guys came up to Mosul, and it was like the Wild Wild West. However, 2 hour drive up to Dahuk,
Yeah.
and we could walk down the streets without any gear on, nothing but a sidearm, go into a
Right.
restaurant, have a meal. I mean, there's a college there, and all the college kids wanted to come talk to us and practice their English and
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the what they did, what Hussein did to the Kurdish people was just unbelievable.
Yep. So I touched on that. Here, let me show you. And you would think he would stop.
all of this masculinity, I guarantee in a foxhole, I don't want a woman and a child next to me. Those are the people I'm supposed to be protecting for a reason. And
Woman
that
and a
reason is
child.
that's my duty. And that's why I have the muscles. That's why I have the dominance.
Okay,
That's
but what does
why
that
I
have
have
to
the
do?
masculinity.
What is
That's
that
why
has?
I'm supposed to be the alpha.
What does that has
That
anything to do with my
that's why he never
story?
served in the military.
Somewhere along the
Right.
line, the alphas have failed.
Which alphas? Both who?
Anybody that's supposed to be protecting you. All of the alphas in your life
Protecting
have
me from
failed.
who?
Other
No.
alphas, other
Okay.
betas, other fucking thieves, rapists,
All right.
robbers,
All right.
murderers.
You are literally, you still don't understand the entire story, honestly. You don't understand. You might want to go back and just listen to it a little bit because there were no alpha. My country was invaded. Okay. Someone had to do something.
And you're telling me your whole country had no alphas. That's the problem.
I didn't say that.
Where were they?
I didn't. Were you there? Were you there?
No.
Okay.
So
then you can't.
let me interject here real quick. I'm just
So,
giving
yeah.
the most neutral.
But then look at the bright side though, right? Look at the bright side. Why do we have to look at, oh, such a shame? I would also turn it and look at, I have 3 beautiful
During what was happening, what was, from your purview, what was happening to the people, including yourself, your family?
Mhm. What was happened to them in terms of what?
Well, you said prior to U.S. invasion that things weren't going well. I don't want to
Yeah,
put
things were
words.
not going well. Saddam, I mean, I don't know how much you know about the history. Saddam literally, I mean, wiped an entire town north of Iraq with his chemical weapons. I mean, you could, it's, there are footages out there, which I don't recommend. If you have a weaker stomach, don't even watch it. You know, there's so many things that went down. We hurt his people. If you were caught with a satellite dish, I mean, you would get slaughtered, you know? I mean, we were just living in fear nonstop. You can't say anything bad about him. I mean, talk about dictatorship to a T, you know? It was terrible. Then he said that he was going to a war with Israel, then all these other different threats, and we keep losing our men because he keeps getting us and all this crap that he kept doing. His sons used to drive and go to high schools and colleges and pick out whatever girls they think they're pretty, and those girls never even make it back. I mean, I can't even, there's so much to it. So much to it. It's not, oh my gosh, the men failed you over there. You guys have no idea what was going on in that country.
Well,
That's exactly what you just said, Master
Yeah,
Sergeant.
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly what you just said. So, and then when you see people like this, you know, whatever, I don't even know what to call him, you know, saying that the men failed the women, right? Or saying that, uh,
We've got female soldiers. I was a military policeman. I had one, two, three, four. I had 5 females in my platoon alone. Um,
mhm,
3 of which were sergeants. They were team leaders,
right.
and I had a medic, a female medic. They all did a great job. Um, it, they're more alpha than this guy is.
This is what I don't understand. So you have people like him, like, you know, that other tiny feet, you know, the other moron, whatever his name is, Scott Garcia. There's so many of them who think that the women should stay and, you know, stay home and do the women, whatever women are supposed to do. Yet he sits at home, plays video games 24/7, 24/7, and his wife works 2 jobs. You have this other idiot who says, again, he's an alpha male and it's his job to protect the women. And yet he's living off of his wife retirement funds. That's what he said last night. I mean, I blanked asked him, hey, you know, do you work? And, you know, does your wife work? And he's like, nope, what we do live off of her retirement. So those are the alpha males that I'm encountering on social media lately. I don't know what it is. Do you think it's they see a woman who had done more? Like, I don't get it. What is it? Why is there? Why do they feel threatened?
I I don't know because I'm not threatened. I think you're
I know you're
a
not.
strong. I think you're a strong woman. I think you should
Thank
be
you.
commended for what you did for your country.
Thank you.
I mean, you saw what was going on. The U.S. came in, and you did everything in your power to assist because
Exactly.
let's face it, Arabic's not an easy language.
Right.
And what little bit of Arabic they tried to teach us as we got ready to go overseas, uh, Ishmak, and you give your name, and
Yeah.
that's about it.
Right.
Not enough to accomplish a mission. And I
Right.
know, I think all of my interpreters are here in the States, or two of them, two out of the
Sure.
three, two out of the three are here in the States. One owns um, a fitness gym down in, or a couple of different fitness gyms down in Florida, and another one owns a hookah bar in California.
That's
And the third
awesome.
one came to the States, got his master's degree, and now he's back in Kurdistan
Oh, okay.
helping the country,
Right.
doing his part. So,
Right.
you know, they
And
all did
Kurdistan
really
is
well.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. I went to Kurdistan for the first time ever. Uh, I mean, after I left, it's been like what, 20 years? I went last August. I mean, you would think it's a European country. You know, I want to share some of the videos that I and the pictures that I took. It's so beautiful. And just to back, let's go back a little, with my story. Again, when I was born into the Iraq-Iran war, in the mid 80s. All I know is is wars, right? And Iraq is used to wars, and every time there was a war, our country would be on hold for a second, and then we go back to our jobs, work, school, whatever. Back then, 1991, the Gulf War, and I was 5 or 6 at the time. And, again, that was Saddam's, this is what I mean, the crap he put us through, and he didn't care about his people. And anybody who tried to fight Saddam ended up either miss. I mean, he killed his own son-in-law. You know what I mean? And these people are just so clueless about what actually happened. He's like, "Oh, why didn't you guys vote him out?" His every time election came around, it was 98%, 98%, or no one would put their names next to Saddam. And it just, these people are so clueless. I was telling somebody, uh, my uncle, tried to smuggle a satellite TV just so we know what was happening outside of Iraq. And someone reported them, and my uncle went to jail for having a satellite dish. We were like the country, like we were shielded. We didn't have any access to outside world. We didn't
Yeah,
have
there was no infrastructure for like internet or anything like that.
no,
We
no,
in even in 06, 07, we had satellite internet, but it took forever to get that going, and that wasn't the greatest.
right, right, right. I mean, we didn't even have AC units. It wasn't until you guys got there is when we got those things, and people can't fathom that, like the Saddam was an evil, evil man, an evil man. And people like this dude who thinks, oh, the men should just go and fight him. Like, we weren't allowed to have weapons, you know?
He
Like,
would, yeah, he if you went up against him, he'd kill not only you but your entire family,
yep,
uh, every generation that was there. I mean,
yep,
you would just be done. Your whole family would be gone.
right,
Um,
right.
yeah, because it was a big thing for people to actually have weapons in their home. I mean, they were allowed to have an AK while we were there, for self
Well, that's
defense.
when you guys came in. Yes, we
Yep.
did have some people then went and stole some weapons, from Saddam's whoever, like some people just left, a lot of Saddam's army military people, they left. And I have pictures of them like waving literally a white t-shirt, like, just, I'm not with Saddam anymore. I'm not fighting you. I'm not, and again, so growing up, I was told that you all are coming to kill us all and take our oil. And that was like engraved in our brain. The US and the Western world, that's their main mission, is to come
And
take.
I don't think we ever got any oil.
No, no. And
I
then,
don't think we got any oil whatsoever. Uh, I mean, there
Right,
might be something going on now where we're getting some, but I wouldn't even bet on that. The
right.
infrastructure wasn't there to be able to do mass export of it.
Right. And then, yeah, this idiot tried, tell me how there were no chemical weapons in Iraq, and it was just a power move to take, yeah, it was power move to go for the gold and the money and the oil, and I'm like, dude, what do you know? A lot of it was smuggled to freaking Syria, you know? Um, it just kills me when you get these people who are clueless and didn't even serve a day, in the military, but they have so much to say about it, you know. But yeah, so that was yesterday, and he was super angry because, you know,
I'm going to blame you, Izzy. You get all these guys all worked up, him and Todd, and I don't know what it is, but
by existent, because I think the way they view it is, here's a girl, or I mean, I was 18 at the time, 19, right, who had done way more, and I ended up actually saying that to him. I'm like, dude, I literally protected your freedom, protected your freedom as an 18, 19-year-old girl. And then that's when he kind of lost his marbles, and I think that's it. You have somebody like Toddy, who, what did he do exactly? Like, we still don't know.
I Triple T. I don't think they lied about the weapons of mass destruction. I think they probably had good intel that there were weapons of mass destruction, chemical weapons, and so on and so forth. But by the time we got there, all of that shit had been moved. Well, Izzy will tell you, all
Yeah.
that shit was moved out. But he gassed the shit out of an entire village
Yep.
of Kurds.
Yep. In Kurdistan. Yeah. He literally did. I mean, an entire, and it's so sad if it's, I mean, it is, you can watch it, on YouTube or Google it or whatever. You see moms, babies, kids, whatever, just sleeping on on the streets. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, we did have chemical weapons. Saddam smuggled. I mean, look what Syria used. You know, that was from us. So anyway, and then this guy would kept arguing with me, and I'm like, dude, I am from there. Like, why would you listen to some sort of article because you try to bring an article and say, oh no, see, it says there were no weapons. I'm like, I am from there. Why would you believe some random article? You're like, I am telling you, I was there. you know? Like, why is it so hard to believe? It's just so fascinating to me how these people are so clueless.
And everything that you're saying, I've heard before from the interpreters we had. We
Right.
had one interpreter who was during the Gulf War. He was a tank commander during the first Gulf War for
Hmm.
the Iraqi army,
Right.
and he was an interpreter for us.
Right.
And he was an older guy, but same thing. He laid it out for us because we'd sit around, we'd break out a grill or something, and we'd cook some meat, and we'd have a little cookout, and all the interpreters would come over, and uh, we'd just talk amongst us ourselves, and
Yeah.
he would tell us, after the Gulf War what happened, and how I guess things got really bad after the Gulf War
Hmm.
because the
With the
Kurds
sea.
were, yeah, there was a lot of plans that, and we kind of left the Kurds out to dry on that
Right.
because we were supposed to come in from Turkey and support them because they
Right.
were going to push forward, and it all turned into a shit show.
Right. Right. But then again, you have these people who believe now whether the war was justified or not. I can tell you 75 to 80 people, the population in Iraq, were really happy that Saddam was removed. Okay. So that's a justification, right? That's something that no one could have done. Not the Iraqi people, not the men in Iraq. No one could have done that. And we did need the US. And then he was talking about some other nonsense about the border. And I'm like, what does that has anything to do with anything? Illegal immigrants and blah, blah, blah. And trust me, I agree. I think people should come the right way. Take the legal steps. Don't just cross the river or, jump off of whatever, a wall. You know what I mean? But it was just insane arguing with these people who are absolutely clueless. So how long was your time there for?
We were there 14 months.
Okay. Where were you?
Right at on Merez at Mosul.
Oh, yeah.
So
You were
we were based
right.
out of Merez. Well, we have Merez and Diamondback.
Yeah.
The two fobs were separated. Diamondback was the airport. Merez was across the street, and we had Death Alley that ran in between the two because they
Yeah.
drive vehicle bombs up in there, VBIDs,
Yeah.
and blow them up all the time.
Right.
We did
Yeah.
have some cops out in the surrounding areas, and we also took over Badouche Prison
Mm-hmm.
because the warden for the prison, people would go up there and pay him off, and he'd let people out of prison.
Mm.
So
Shocking.
we ended up taking that over.
Yeah.
And Hiram, I see your. Yes, he was actually. I think it was the Medina, but he wasn't a T-72. And what about the Shiite Muslims along east central Iraq and Iran? Don't know. I don't know
What do
what
you
you're
mean?
looking for.
Yeah. What about them?
The Sunni Shiite thing is always going to be there.
It's been there
The
forever. And that's
rivalry, it'll
yeah.
be there forever.
Right, right. But and to be fair, Saddam, I mean, he literally slaughtered most of the Shia when he was in power. I mean, just took a ton of men. They would dig a giant
Oh,
holes and then mass bury. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know that or remember that.
he's talking about the general that went by the name Chemical Ali, and
Oh yes.
Chemical Ali, we actually had an Iraqi police station at his place on the river in Mosul, right across
Hmm.
from the Nineveh walls. Chemical Ali actually had a place right there on the river, and we had an Iraqi police station we put in there because it
Right,
was a nice walled compound.
right, right. And then Iraq is a lot better today than I mean, I was looking at pictures of, so I still have family members there and were showing me, all the new buildings and all the new stuff that they are doing. And it is a lot better today than it used to be. Um, Saddam Hussein. And you can, by the way, you can do your shout outs to the super chats.
Oh, does that work?
Uh, I think you got one from her. Is it Hiram?
Hiram. Yeah.
Hiram. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not monetized. So please, direct it to Master Sergeant. He does an amazing job and puts a lot of time and effort into educating people. Unfortunately, we can't educate every single person. It's up to them whether they want to believe it or not. But I am a living proof. I lived over there. I worked for the US Army. I also lived the role of an Army spouse. So I've lived it all. By the way, we have a guest here in the behind the scenes I'm going to bring up since all of this happened because of him.
Mm.
Mm.
How's it going, Izzy, Master Sergeant?
What's up, Base? I was watching your. You had a live going last night, and I was kind of lurking, and I was just thinking to myself, you guys were talking about the PDF folks,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was like, everything that they're talking about right now has been talked about for decades,
right, yeah,
and and the chemical castration, that's been a thing for at least 30 years, but nobody does it because they say it's unconstitutional. But
right,
I
yeah.
just kind of lurked yesterday because I didn't want to get in a deep conversation about it because that just makes my skin crawl. I cannot stand
Mm,
that. And
same. Yep.
So, do you think it's kind of like a distraction then from the big picture? I mean, just with what you're saying, not the crime itself, obviously heinous, but just talking about us discussing this, right? Having a back and forth, because as you said, it's been going on forever, sort of.
yeah, these discussions have gone on, and it's funny uh, that it still continues, and it's the same questions without a solution.
Yeah, I agree.
That's mainly what I'm kind of getting to. You guys are discussing it, and it's discussions I've heard over the years, many
Mhm.
years. But now that there's social media and platforms like YouTube and stuff, it's more out there. But
Right. Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty much a loop.
yeah, yeah, same stuff. And I'll bet you in another 10 years it'll be the same stuff.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But anyway, uh, Base, we were talking about some of the folks that you had on your channel, yesterday, or I don't, I believe it was on your channel the day before, and how they had a lot to say about what went down in Iraq without even setting a foot there, which is I find very interesting, and not having any knowledge, right?
Yeah, not having any firsthand knowledge. And I think this is where, media, whatever the media source is, although I think they're largely the same, there are some alternatives, quote unquote, whether or not they're true or the main source is true. But yeah, I agree. As a, having been there as you were, you have a firsthand account. People
Right,
who have not been there have no firsthand account. They're going off of what they've heard or what they've seen, and they start to make an attachment to this reality as they see it, whether or not it's even true. And in this
right,
case, it goes against what you're talking about in your firsthand account.
right. And that's what was mind-boggling to me. He was willing to search for an article, and I'm like, dude, I am right here. Like, ask me whatever questions you have. I was there. Like, I saw the things, I was literally there. It's just fascinating to me how people again want to believe what they want to believe. And I even said, since when we believe the media, for even somebody like him who claims to be a red pill, which I don't even know what that is. And um from what I understand is that they don't believe in the with like the government and stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah, Burnsy's pretty
Conspiracy.
much saying it. All they have is opinions and zero experience.
That's
Um,
true. Yep. Burns spot on.
So I've been saying that we're in the era, the time right now of ego and outrage. Everyone wants to be outraged about something or things that many times often are out of their control. They have little to no say in. And meanwhile, all the things that they do have control of, they seem to largely ignore. So again, I think this is part of the distraction, the division culture.
The division
that's
culture.
that's true. I can see that.
Right. And this is what kind of frustrating. They go into it with, closed mind. I'm not going to like open. This is like, This is the truth that I believe in. I'm not even gonna peek a little to understand actually exactly what went down or what happened, which is so frustrating. At least have an open mind so then people can understand, right?
Yeah.
There's always more. There's always a thing behind the thing. There's always more to the story. It's not what you hear on the news or, and we've said that before. I told you this before. A teacher asked me this once when I was speaking to high schoolers. She actually raised her hand and asked me if we, how the live-in situation was, if we lived in tents and like rode camels to school. And I was like, holy cow. I'm like, the first camel I saw was at San Luis Zoo,
I want to
like
ride a camel to school. I want
this
to do
again,
that.
they think it's like
Izzy,
Aladdin.
you said something that I never realized. You're right. There was no air conditioning in the general population.
Nope. Nope. Yeah,
I
we didn't
can't
even know
count
what it was.
how many houses that we were in, how many areas of houses that we had to clear, and I never ever saw a single air conditioning unit anywhere.
Right. Right. That's what I mean. Like, this is the stuff you all brought, and people are happy to this day because, as you know, Iraq is, it gets so, it's so freaking hot. I mean, it literally
Yeah.
closer to the temperature of hell, you know? Uh, and I don't know what time of year you were there, but it's horrendous.
I went through all of it. We actually got snowflakes on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day,
Yeah. Yeah.
2007. We had a few snowflakes up in Mosul. Actually, I
Yeah.
think they had snowflakes in Baghdad. It was like the first time in forever.
They
Of
were,
course,
yeah,
we
I
couldn't
remember
stay, but
it was on the news and everything. Now that
yep.
I do believe because some of my family members did take pictures of it, but but it's just, yeah, it's just to me, I don't understand these people and their thought process, but based, you did that. You brought them.
I put an open panel link up. I mean, at one
Based
point.
Based has got quite an array of guests on his shows. I think from all different extremes, he gets them,
Yes.
and it's interesting because you always seem to stay, unless it's a total, you know, but you're always like down the middle, unless it's just completely out there in
I
left
try to
field somewhere.
find, yeah, I mean, to your point, I've been called a fence sitter rarely, but I try to find the balance, right? The truth is often somewhere in the middle. And I don't mean this as per, for instance, Izzy's account versus the other person's. I'm just saying when it comes to life, it seems we have extremes many times, right?
Mhm.
There's many men hating women, there's women hating men. There's the opposite. There's men who are doting over any woman who will give him any time of day, right? So there's all sorts of extremes out here, and I like to find the balance and, sort of set the record straight from my purview of reality as I see it.
And I think that was the whole thing with that one dude and the other panel is that they have some sort of hate towards women for some reason. And it's just so crazy to me because in real life, that's not the case, I mean, I'm married, I love my husband. And one of them actually called me a feminist, which he thought that was an insult. But most feminists actually hate men. Literally, they hate men.
Yeah.
you know
So as I see it, what you're talking about, there's several things going on. It's not just one thing. So, for instance, some men, probably a lot, have recognized that dealing with many women, not all, but many, and I would also say many men for that matter, but in terms of relationships, that it's not good. It's the world has changed. The things that are happening now some of the things that women are doing widely, like OF is acceptable now, right? It's an acceptable means of
I don't know
being a
what that
young
is.
lady, apparently. So with that, men push back on it and are angry, but the problem is that they're not seeing men's accountability in the situation. For instance, I mean, just trying to connect this, that there wouldn't be an OF if there weren't millions of men supporting it, or tens of
What
millions,
is
however
OF
many.
to begin with?
OnlyFans, nude
Ah,
pictures, sex
okay.
acts on camera for the
Yes.
public to, yeah. So
Yeah.
some of it comes out in rage and will be targeted at individuals who have nothing to do with the big picture, or at least not any more than themselves.
Right. Right.
Well, there's a lot of guys out there that couldn't get laid in a whorehouse with a fistful of 50s. So that's what makes OnlyFans uh,
Yeah.
makes
That's
them
funny.
all the money.
Yeah, that's funny. But again, these people, like I mentioned, who have done the least, but they talk the most, right? And somehow they are butthurt because I done something for my country and this country, and they don't know what to do with it, you know.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, in a respect, I think that probably is part of what you notice. Yeah,
right. I mean, is it not?
I think so.
And with the dude from your show yesterday, he's very angry, and I noticed it was misdirect. His anger was misdirected
Yes.
because
Yeah.
when I said, "Dude, I fought for your freedom," and he said, "Well, where were you when I got molested?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. There were two different conversations going on that appeared to be directed at each other, but they really weren't. I agree. There was a lot of left field. For instance, what you're saying, where were you when this happened to me, which had nothing to do with the conversation, right?
Exactly. I'm like,
But he was pushing back on you having protected him in I would say a bad faith example, because clearly
well,
there's
I
no
mean, I said
connection.
fought for your freedom,
Right, sure.
protected your rights is the accurate, term, I guess. Um, but it was interesting, definitely interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Master Sergeant? I don't know. What is it? What do you think it is with these men?
Uh, you mean the ones that claim to be alpha males?
Yes.
I hear that all the time, that all these guys are claiming to be. If someone
Yeah,
has to verbally tell you that they are one, what does that make you
they're not.
think?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the guys who threatened me last week. He at first he said, "I'm going to tell you how to become an alpha male." And I said, "Okay, I'll get out my pen and paper." And he was not happy. He ended up making death threats on stream. It just blew up. Yeah. But I thought it was sad and funny and sad that he was that triggered by me questioning his alpha maleness or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Kelly, I'm not too old to not think. Come on.
Uh-huh.
She says I'm too old to think about much today. No,
Oh
I
no,
can think.
he's a
I want to
lot
bring
sharper
up.
than
I want to
all of
bring up
us.
the other topic, Izzy.
All right,
So
bring it up.
I have never represented myself as a police officer on YouTube.
Okay.
Not in an official capacity, not in an unofficial capacity. Um, I basically I have all these people attacked. Well, once they found out I was a police, once I got doxxed,
Hmm.
uh, there was a flock of people filing complaints against me that were all unfounded because,
You got
uh,
doxxed.
oh yeah,
Oh, well, then welcome to the club.
I mean it's not even the first time. This is just the
Yeah.
most recent one.
Okay.
Um, People for some reason, and here's my take on this: all these people that are very verbal against the police are out to get me, they're trying to frame me, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. 90% of these people are the ones that won't take responsibility for something they've done that they got in trouble for, and
Right.
now they have an axe to grind with the police department. There's approximately 800,000 sworn police officers in the United States. Yes, there's going to be bad cops. I'm the first one to say it. And when
Right.
I see something that's not right, I say it's not right. Um, I'm one of the first ones, and I've spoken out about different videos where I was like, "Yeah, that cop's going to jail," um,
Right.
and I've spoken out about those on different panels. But yet, that's like BSBT. I've got him blocked now. I can't deal with that idiot.
Who's
Uh,
that?
uh,
Broken
broken
system.
system, broken
Oh, that
trust.
moron who
So
lost his
yeah,
kids or something. Okay.
so he mentioned something, and I said, "Well, I'd arrest him for obstruction."
Hmm.
And then I quoted the obstruction law in Massachusetts
Hmm.
right over his head. Just totally disregarded it. You can't do that. Yes, I can. It says right here I can.
Right.
And it had to do with somebody interfering with a traffic stop. You want to videotape? Videotape. I've been videotaped a bazillion times.
Right.
I don't care. Don't
I
interject
personally don't
yourself
get the
into a situation where you have no business,
right.
because that is an interruption of that officer performing his duties, which is in violation of in Massachusetts, it's a violation of Mass General Law 268-34.
Right.
And I tried to quote him that, but he could not comprehend interfere. He didn't know what
Right.
interfere meant.
Yikes. I'm listening.
No, that's all right. I just there's an entire uh, I don't know. And there's just an entire group of people out there that just have they don't like people that are in a position of authority. They don't
Right.
like people that have the capability to take away their freedom. And I get that. And I trust me. I am.
But
Uh,
who's taking away their freedom?
no, I'm talking about they get upset that a police officer is able to take away their freedom if they break the law by arresting them.
Okay.
That seems to be one of the big things.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, Base. You're not saying much.
You need
No,
to
I was
say
just
something.
letting you go on that.
You let me
Yeah,
ramble.
I mean, yeah. So I've had many interactions, obviously, with the police over the years. I think most people have had a few. And I've seen good, I've seen bad, and I've known some pretty personally,
Hmm.
decent, and some of who have gone above and beyond. I think this climate that we're in, politically, socially, is not incentivizing good police or good people to become police and be police.
Hmm.
And some of it has been a lot of division among police and people in terms of there's been a lot of back the blue, and on the other side, there's been a lot of, you know, get rid of, delete all police, right? So there's been a lot of animosity between civilians and police in the U.S. And largely in the big picture, I'm a believer in less government, which would necessarily mean less police. I don't think that police or judges prevent or stop crimes. I think they're retributive. And really, if we want bad things to be less prevalent in society, it's not a matter, in my purview, it's not a matter of punishment to
Hmm.
disincentivize. It's a matter of going after the core root issues. So, for instance, we talk about at times in the justice system rehabilitation, Yet that seems not to be a real enactment. Recidivism rate, as far as I know, has always been very high, meaning offenders continue to offend.
Right.
So even going to
Um,
jail or prison isn't preventing them from doing it again, right? Because it's not going after the core root of why they are doing it.
So let me just say this: all of the, and there's been quite a few big cities that have basically defunded their police departments by huge amounts. New York City, they took $30 million out of their police budget. They had to let go a whole bunch of officers. What did the crime rate do? Went up. So,
right.
I think police training should be better um, with what you've got. And if you train, I think that the training needs to be better. It needs to be more. I don't know, and it's hard nowadays because I'll go into a situation, calm, cool, collected. Hey, what can I do for you? Blah blah blah. And whoever that person is that I am dealing with, they take it to this level right from the get go.
Right.
And there's just no way to even deal with these type of people because there's no way to de-escalate it. There's no way. I, you know, so I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
a
what kind.
tricky
I don't know what kind
situation.
of training would be better. We
Right.
already police officers when I was still working, we'd get ad nauseum amounts of de-escalation training.
Right.
Every month we were having to watch videos or uh, go to a training session.
Yeah. Um, so I think I shared with you a little bit earlier about my kid when she was 10 years old. This is back in 2020, literally in the middle, like in the beginning of COVID. Everybody was scared and didn't know what was going on. This was, I think, April, I believe. So it was on our local news, and let me pull it up. They said that they're going to have to let people go, or they're going to you know what was it, let people go, or just going to have to take a massive pay cut. My 10-year-old at the time was listening, and the whole time she was like terrified, who's going to protect us? So she said to me and my husband, I have $300 that I can donate to them. Maybe that would help or keep people. And she said, I will reach out to, some of my friends and see what they would donate. She even wrote a letter. Here, I'll show you. It's a handwritten letter. How do I make this big? Ah,
I'm on a Mac, so I couldn't tell you.
Might be able to right
yeah,
click and zoom in. I don't know.
it's not letting me. Is it working?
No.
It's showing on my end, but I don't know if it's showing on your end.
It's kind of fuzzy. I can read a few words, but it's not very clear.
It's not? Okay. So anyway, let's see if I can scroll back up. I wanted you to hear that. It's a really, really sweet story. She wrote the handwritten letter that says police officers are very important people. They protect us even when it's dangerous. They are always in the front. Blah blah blah. So she's basically said, I am donating my $300, and I would love for my friends to do it. Can you share it? So I took a picture of it. I shared it on just my social media, and did not know that this story was going crazy, right? So here, let's see if I can do this. Oh, where did it go? See, that's the problem. Either you listen to the ad or not. Here. Okay. Being an ad. All right.
Is going above and beyond to help the local police officers. Hannah is a fifth grader at Babbler Elementary School. She collected $2,400 and gave the Chesterfield Police
Wow.
Department 232 gift
In one
cards.
day.
This comes after she heard some officers are going to take a pay cut. She created a fundraiser and raised the money in just a day and a half. So amazing. You know, Ali, we've been talking about this, how people are stepping up. They're showing that, hey, we're all in this together. You've got two NBA stars who are well off, and then you've got this little girl who decided to say, you know what? I'm going to raise some money. I'm going to take care of these officers.
So, you know, again, we didn't intend for this to be as big as it got.
That's pretty impressive.
Anyway, so they posted it on their social media, and you know, most people loved it. You know, this is very kind. A 10-year-old, you know, thinking about police officers, blah blah blah. And then, of course, you get some of the nasty people, and they started calling my 10-year-old at the time a bootlicker, all kinds of names, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where did you even come up with that? This was April of 2020. So we're literally in the midst, we had just went into COVID. You know what I mean? So yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
It's really hard to think that things are going to get better.
Right?
It really is. Um,
Yeah. And yep, they were grown adults, you know, and again, the story went viral. We got an interview with the Today Show. We got an interview with Kelly Clarkson. Everybody wanted to interview my daughter. You know, they thought it was it's super thoughtful, you know, coming from a 10-year-old, which I agree. I was super proud, beyond proud. You know what I mean? But it's just it's heartbreaking when you see adult. Now, what's in it for her? She's 10.
yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. I think social media is pretty much the downfall of the American way of life.
I agree with
Right.
that. Yeah, for sure.
And this is why I am the no mom. I shield my kids from social media. You know, imagine, and I was telling someone this the other day. I mean, some adults, literally adults, like 54-year-old adults can't handle it, you know, with Homestead and Tiny Feet. Can't handle it. They rage and they call people names and all kinds of stuff. So imagine what it does to little kids or teenage kids. That's why I'm okay being labeled the no mom by my children.
You know, back in the dark ages, your words had consequences.
Right.
Everybody hides behind social media now and talks shit. And
Right.
you know, back when I first came out of high school, when I first joined the military and stuff, if you ran your pie hole, there was a good chance somebody was going to stick a fist in it. So I think that's all gone. There's no accountability for what you do on social media.
Right. And that's the funny part. You know, you get, again, the homesteader Tiny Feet goes out there and like, oh, I'm going to meet Izzy's husband and I'm going to show him, I'm going to meet him in the battlefield. And I'm like, and do what? Give him some eggs? Like, what are you going to do to my husband? You know, I'm like it's like literally he's dying for my husband's attention.
Oh,
and
he's another self-professed alpha male too. So what does that tell you?
bingo. He also
And
calls
he is that guy. I'm sorry.
He is that guy. That's true. He also calls himself a legend. So that tells you everything you want to know, right? If you call yourself a legend, yeah.
Based, he was on one of your shows and he was talking about uh, how I had doxed him, which in fact I did not. I showed a Freedom of Information Act reply that I received. If anybody doxed him, it would have been the United States government, because that's a for public release record that
Yeah,
was.
I think that was on his show where he was reviewing. I remember him reviewing it. And, I guess he's like many people, shows the angles he wants to show.
Yep.
So I always had a lot of questions for him. And a lot of times I think he just obfuscated, didn't want to deal with whatever the answers are. So, I talked about when he first started battling with F3, and for some time that it seemed to me, based on what he was saying, like, oh, why are they bothering you? Like, and I would ask him questions, but again, he would deflect. And I realized no matter what the situation, he just has a victim mentality.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I've noticed too that he tries to get an inner circle together, uh, but then he alienates himself from it almost immediately.
Right.
He tries to get people, but I mean, right now it's what's it, Vegas Vips and that Brick guy. I will admit, Brick came on one of my lives. I had an open panel. He came on, very respectful. We had a good dialogue. I don't agree with some of the things that the way he looks at things, but we had a very good dialogue, and I had no issue with it. Vips is just.
Yeah, Vips is absolutely retarded. And, Bricks was on mine last night, actually, I believe. I'm pretty sure he came
I
up.
think I was kind of in and out. I was just kind of listening. I was doing some other stuff here.
I think he prefaced with something like, oh, I know we've had beef. I'm pretty sure he was just talking shit to me. And I was like, fuck this dude. I mean, that was it. That was our beef. But I really don't hold on to things. I mean, for the most part, I've banned probably 5 people ever altogether. And it's usually for a TOS, or, if they're like somebody docks somebody else, I don't want you here, that type of thing. Like you serve no purpose, you're gone.
Yeah.
Liability.
Wait, there's a video? Oh, I mean, and it's like constantly. Again, I told this to Base the other day. I told him, who uses those words typically. A real man would never call a woman those names. Those names typically come from another woman, right? So for him trying to get my husband's attention, wants to fight my husband doesn't fight women.
That's
So
good.
sorry, you're out of luck, Toddy. He's not gonna fight you because he really does not fight women. But yeah, I did see Sergeant's time was kind of funny. He was schooling him.
Ned Flanders, Greg.
Yeah.
Greg Brady. He's got more nicknames than I can remember.
Yeah. No, but I have to say I am amazed by. I have to go back to the police story because I really don't understand. I don't know whether you agree with it or not. I don't understand why get it up in their faces and video the police officers while they conduct their business.
I mean, I get it. If people want to cop watch, and they do, and even in the small town I was in, we get people that'll record us when we're on traffic stops, but they never interject themselves into that interaction.
Right.
And if someone had come up to me, I would have been like, sir, ma'am, if you would just wait over here, I'll get to you as soon as I finish what I'm doing. That would be my response to it. Videotaped all the time. All the time. As a matter of fact, there was a kid on a dirt bike that he converted to the street. I pulled him over because I knew he had an illegal set of lights on it. And I
Right.
pulled him over and I said, dude, I'm not here to bust your balls. I didn't know he was GoProing the whole thing. And I showed up on some supermoto website as the cool cop. I was like, really? Because somebody sent me a link to it. And they said, hey, this kid's got you up on video. And I went and
Yeah.
watched it. I said, well, yeah, that's about how I am 99.9% of the time. I was like, dude, I'm
Right.
not going to bust your balls. I'm not going to write you a ticket. I'm just letting you know that headlight is not a DOT headlight. The lights that you put on here, yes, you have to have those lights on here in order to get the inspection sticker, which you haven't gotten yet.
Right.
So, I gave him my traffic lecture,
Yeah.
um, which he probably would have rather have had the ticket instead of the traffic lecture. But
Yeah.
I said, so you don't have an inspection sticker. The lights aren't DOT. And then I told him, I says, if you go down to this place the next town over, I guarantee you he will have everything you need to bring this up to DOT standards. And then you can go get your inspection sticker and you'll be all set.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I showed up on some supermoto website as good cop, bad cop, because they had some guys that were just dicks. I was like, why are you being a dick to the
Mhm.
kid? You know, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Educate them,
Right.
send them down the road. They're
Yeah.
more apt to fix things if you do that than
Right.
if you berate them, write them a ticket, uh, and go that route. They're more apt to do the right thing and take care of those issues if you just give them a little, education.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. That
Maybe
is
it's
fair.
me. And all the new guys that have come up after me, and even when I was an MP, the new guys that were coming on when I was a patrol supervisor, when I was a desk sergeant, when I did all that stuff, you know, you can get people to
Yeah.
conform by being nice. You don't have to be an asshole.
Right. Right. No, I agree. I never understood it. Thank you. I tried to hide my sneeze, but people noticed it. Thank you so much. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Just I don't know. And I've seen some of them were super outrageous when they just in the cop's face, and I don't know, like they're almost trying to get a reaction. Then they will say, okay, see, the police or the cop did this to us, when the cop will say, back off or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I feel
So
about it.
yeah, Salacious brings up a good point. There people are out there saying what the police should be doing and how they should be doing it when they've never done it themselves. And I'll tell you, well, with COVID and stuff, I know a lot of departments did away with their ride along programs. Go do a ride along
Right. Right.
and
Oh, and they can do that?
see some of the stuff that the day to day, today crap that. I'm standing there talking to somebody and somebody drives by in a car. Hey, you fucking pig. Happens all the
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Okay. Hi, how are you? Have a nice day. Drive safe. The
And
biggest thing and the hardest
mm,
thing for a new police officer is to realize do not take anything personal because it's not personal. They're not personally attacking you. They are attacking what you're wearing.
yeah, that just it makes me really sad. Based, you talk about the gap between men and women. Let's talk about the gap between police officers and some of those people, how to bridge that gap. Maybe you can have, I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do like Wi-Fi does. I'm just saying, maybe you should have an episode like that.
Hmm.
Um,
And
This is a
vets
good
trashing the
question.
VA.
Even I'll let Base go on this one first. What are your thoughts on vets trashing the VA?
The
yeah,
VA sucks. It is garbage. And I say this after 12 years of dealing with the VA. Now, anecdotally, I have a pretty good doctor. I like him. But dealing with the VA, dealing with claims, dealing with the system, really the federal government, I think is trash. I think that you can get a lot of things done in the VA, but definitely prepare for all sorts of nonsense. And I have many people in my life who also have been utilized in the VA for well over a decade. I don't know what it used to be like in the 80s or 90s or 2000s. I'm just talking about now. I don't know
Right.
if I'm trashing the VA. I'm just describing the VA as kind of trash.
Yep. I kind of it took me 2.5 years to get a rating after I retired.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I don't use the VA because I am retired military, so I have got TRICARE. Well,
Hmm.
actually, up here in the Northeast, I use a different program. It's a
Mm.
contractor for TRICARE, but I mean, I've got my local doctor, and I use the local hospitals and that stuff, and everything's covered. That's like when I broke my back down in Georgia
Mm.
um, last year, last February. I think it ended up costing me about $75 out of my pocket for the whole thing. So that was pretty good. However, you know, a year later, I still get a bill every now and then, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I just send it to the TRICARE people, and they take care of it. But
Right.
the VA, I don't use it. My experience getting my claims put through was kind of a pain in the ass. It was kind of like, going around your ass to get to your elbow to get
Mm.
anything done.
Yeah.
Um, and then once it all came through, I didn't even bother with, questioning my rating. I just let it stand
Right.
um, because I don't use it. But there are people out there that do trash the VA. I think the VA has gotten better since the early 2000s to mid 2000s. Because there were some people that was taking 5, 6, 7 years to get any kind of anything.
Mm.
And I'm talking guys that have both their legs blown off
Yeah.
in Iraq, and it took them 5, 6, 7 years to get anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
So, what would make it easier, better? Well, things like not losing veterans' paperwork, pretty basic things would be helpful. I think the core issue is that the VA is just the federal government and they don't care about you. That's my purview. People who believe that the federal government does care about you, okay, cool. I don't think you're living in reality. I wish it was that way, but I'm not going to make an assessment of reality based on what I wish.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, I can see where a lot of guys. It is a very convoluted system to navigate, no doubt. And good on you for educating yourself. And I just had somebody on who's an AMVET guy,
Hmm.
and I'm going to try and get some veterans together and have a group discussion about the VA stuff and how the claims went for them and how things work. And based, I'm going to reach out to you to try and get you on as well
Cool.
when I put that group together. But I'm going to have one of the AMVET guys on there to talk about navigating that VA hierarchy, I guess is what you'd call it, because it's weird.
Yeah, I think the main thing is persistence, right? I mean, you were talking about multi years. I have friends, it's been many years. One of them, OIF, one veteran, I believe it was pretty recently, and he got out about 15 to 20 years ago. Yeah, maybe about
Okay.
17, 18 years ago. And he's now at 100%. But the fight to do that was, I mean, it was a long, long process, it seemed like.
Yeah. I'm going to stop you for a second. We have a trader in the house who has been best friends with one of the, well, recently, befriended one of the enemies. So here's the traitor.
One of the enemy.
Mm.
Ned.
Yeah, y'all get me in all my glory. We streamed until I don't know. We were talking till almost 5 this morning. So
Oh,
this
wow.
is this
At
is
least you
my
got your robe on. Thank you.
Yeah, I
huh?
caught some of that last
Get my.
night.
Did you get where based where I'm sorry, Todd and Vips broke up over me?
No,
Oh, did
no,
they?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Did they have a
That's
little
actually
falling out?
breaking news. This is very important. So I'm going to have Ned take the floor here.
yeah. What did? What was I even talking to him about? Izzy?
I don't know.
Oh, I wrote Todd a letter because he kept calling me a communist, kept with the anti-Semitic stuff, xenophobic stuff, and I wrote him a email saying, you know, you need to stop it and to keep my kids out of his mouth. Hang on one second.
Police are coming after you for being a traitor.
Ned, you mean you're not a communist? That's not a KGB certificate up there on the wall?
No. Now he's a little closer when he goes Mossad. I will give him that. I spent a few years in Israel doing stuff, but
Yeah.
no, that's just my honorable discharge, my Bronze Star. Me and Colonel Nunez and Colonel Peavy in March of '03 during the invasion in Najaf.
South.
And then that's when I was doing a joint unmanned systems thing at Top Gun. That's my promotion to E5. That units I was with and units that I had done rotations with got together and put that together for me. But anyway, yeah. So Vips was gonna. I wrote an email. Todd made it public, and he just try to make me look bad because I was like, you know, don't. I suggest you stop. And Vips then was doing a live stream as to where he was going to go over that letter. So I went up with him. We had a great conversation. And Vips was like, hey, you know, I know Todd loses it sometimes. And what was it? Todd loses it sometimes. And, you know, you have a lot of balls for coming up here. You know, the typical Vips stuff. And then Todd went over the our live stream. And at the end, when Vips was saying all that, he lost his mind saying that Vips was an incel subversive and he's done with him, that he knew it. And I was just like, okay, I guess my work here is done. I mean, Vips was okay with me. He definitely wasn't the same way he was with Izzy.
No, we'll see. He tried to be okay with me when he came to Finkel's show. And he was like, you know, tried to play, oh, you know, I'm a victim, even though, you know, he's done all these things and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I wouldn't say he's okay with you. Just watch.
Oh,
But
I'm not.
I do love that they broke up again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be mean to him unless he returns that favor.
Right.
And then, you know, same with Brick. Me and Brick's been fine. The show where that idiot was telling Izzy that women shouldn't fight for their country
Yeah.
yesterday. Me and Brick was having a good conversation on that one too.
And I know that was driving you crazy. That idiot was saying that to me.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, I want to come up. I'll talk to this sucker.
See, that's because of you,
You could have
Based.
came up.
Yeah, you hadn't made the StreamYards public yet.
Yeah, it was public. If Brick was up
Oh, it
there,
was
at
that
it
time?
was public.
At the
Oh.
time, you said only the people were involved in the video or something. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
well.
by the time Bricks was up there, it was definitely public. I wouldn't have
Oh,
sent
I
him the
didn't-
link, nor would I have known how.
Oh,
Yeah, you had posted a public link.
Oh, okay. I probably missed.
But yeah, in the
Yeah.
future, feel free to hop on. It's open to all, unless you're one of the 5 that's been banned. GS hasn't even been banned. He
DS
kicked
hadn't
himself.
been banned from any of our sites either. I mean,
I just don't have the ability to stay middle line like you do, because I know what would happen. I'd go on there and it'd be a shit show.
I wouldn't be able to with Todd.
I mean,
Yeah.
most people I could keep an even keel with, but it's the ones that yeah, I'm not going to say anymore.
You know, part of the reason I like to do it, right, that I find it to be a good thing, that I find myself to be able to do this, is because even if we assume that these people that you're describing are in bad faith, meaning they don't even believe what they're saying, they're just up there to create chaos, it still allows me to work on me and my objections to their bad arguments.
That's the rumor, Gus. That's the rumor out there that I guess Vippy and Greg,
I'm sure Todd will call him and apologize and try to make
been
nice.
fighting for
But
approval. I don't know.
Anyone who has tried to support him, anyone who has tried to support him, he is alienated and drove away.
burned, yeah. But to your point, Based, I think you do well at it because you have this. Don't take this the wrong way, but the calm, melancholic
Melancholic.
Melancholic? I
Melancholic
can't say it either.
tone,
Yeah.
and you're just steady right on through. I've seen you get worked up a little bit, but never to.
I've seen it. Especially when people try to
Fucking
when
Protestants, mac and cheese.
when they wanna
We
when
need
they
Tuttle.
right?
We need some
No.
more Tuttle content.
No, I know. And yeah, I mean, I really wanted to know more about, the whole police thing, but then this thing happened last night. So I was showing Master Sergeant. It actually also, you know what, I was telling this to somebody. It's so disrespectful to me when somebody like GS, who has done almost nothing, right? Nothing, would call Master Sergeant the R word. It's so disrespectful to me. Like, and then this
When he
dude,
calls him Riri.
Oh yeah, I'm Master Sergeant retarded.
Yeah.
it's so disrespectful. I can't even, like, how do you even say that? So this is the man
Because
who
he's
claims
that guy, Izzy. He's that guy. When he was in the military, he was that guy in his unit. That's why he was the PLL clerk. That's why he was in the mail room. That's why they would do anything in their power to get him away from the line units and put him somewhere where people wouldn't choke the shit out of him.
Well, if you were still chatting with us, you would have seen where he tried to flex on me that he was the first sergeant's driver, the sergeant major's driver, and the CO's driver. Now, who are the drivers for those guys?
It's called
That
Doug.
guy was
It's
the
called
drivers to protect him from the guys.
Getting his ass kicked.
Exactly. And if he
Yeah.
had actually stuck with that story and just said, this is what I did, it is what it is, that is okay. He is part of the mission, but because he kept embellishing his story, oh, you guys brought the people, so I interrogated the people. Oh, I did that. I saved half of my captain. Oh, I did all these other things, and nothing makes sense. Nothing, none of it. Like
Well,
you can't put
Denny,
it together.
Denny was saying he he was the fires guy. He was the guy calling for fire
That's
because
what?
because of the way Josh does the calls for fire with super chats and stuff. And I was like, Todd, how many times have you called for fire in combat for real, bro?
Right. But I have to.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
as I said last night, I said I have about 900 real world calls for fire more than you do, Todd.
Right, right.
A
And
little more
what's
than
crazy
that, but
is showing how he's a piece of garbage, you know? Um,
Tom Donovan, how are you, sir? You're not getting your TV back. Lisa
ah,
won't. Lisa won't free it.
that's funny. Yeah. No, and it just, I said that to you, Ned. I said how it's funny how he claims to be the Christian, yet he would call women all kinds of names and men, and how he claims to be the alpha male, yet he stays at home while his wife works multiple jobs to support him. He claims to be, I mean, what else? The combat vet, who did all these things, yet zero proof, and just the list goes on and on and on and on. I just don't get it.
Tom,
Don't.
wedding plans are fine. It's what I would do with post wedding. After the ceremony and everybody's out partying was usually
Ah,
when I would cause the most distraction, if you will.
Wedding plans. Is Vips getting married?
apparently.
He,
Well,
he
Chewy's out of jail, so they
he's
might.
talking about he's talking about my experience with MQ9s and what we unfortunately happened to a lot of wedding parties in Iraq.
Right. And
Mm.
then, yeah, I agree, Lola. And then the racism, and it's just it. And what's funny to me when he says, "Oh, I'll meet you all in the battlefield," dude, you're like
What
55.
battlefield?
He wants a
Exactly.
civil war so he can kill all the Democrats and make us all vote and make everybody else vote Republican.
Well, and whoever disagreed with him, he wants to meet them in the battlefield, including me, by the way. He said it. She will be dealt with. So I'm like thinking, dude, when you were younger, you didn't even freaking fight in the battlefield, right? You were kept inside the base because everybody was worried about your whatever ankles, So you think at 54, 55, now you're going to go fight in the battlefield? Like, what? What are you going to do? Bring eggs, throw eggs at people?
Todd Donovan wants a cage fight between Combat Todd and Izzy.
Ah, yeah. Apparently, my words, I mean, just by my words, he gets all hurt and stuff. I can't fight him. He's too fragile.
So
But yeah,
what was the topic for today? Hey
so
Jody D.
we started with, remember the video from yesterday? Hold on, let me bring it
Yeah,
back.
I saw that was what it was.
Yeah.
The women got to work, but I'm got to stay home barefoot and pregnant, but I got to live off my wife's retirement.
It's hysterical to me. So this dude, again, where is he? I think it was this one. Yeah. Yep.
Hey Scotto, did you send a picture of your latest print?
Allowing Saddam to stay in power that really the men who we would expect to be the ones to physically push back if that were to happen, that they weren't doing anything about it, and it led to
They
U.S.
tried.
invasion.
They tried, and there were like mass shooting, they would bury them alive. I mean, like tons and tons of men. You
Yeah,
know, they tried. I mean, I can't really say that they didn't try. They really
that's
did.
good. I mean, that as they should, right?
Yeah.
So good. It's unfortunate, what it took. It's something I'd like to see less of in the world. Maybe we can all agree on this, and I think that Wizard would like to see less in the world is war. And in your case, as you're saying, it was necessary to get him removed,
Removed.
get it under yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is too, you all have to think about, like, when you say you don't want to go into war there, it was a waste of blah, blah, blah. You mentioned something yesterday about, it is a business deal. There is a lot of money behind it. And I agree, there is money behind it. It's all about money and power. At the same time, we, the people, then did benefit from you all removing him. It did help our people a lot better today than they used to be with him in power. Again, so much more to it. Now there is US base over there, and people feel safer with them there.
Well, do you remember what happened in Nazi Germany, World War II?
I was not born.
But you remember the Jewish.
And so this is where, he was like, oh, do you remember? And he tried to go and explain war to me and how war is not all right and how he would never pick up a weapon and go fight. So, and my argument was, were you there? Did you experience what we experienced? The people are actually glad the US came to Iraq, remove Saddam, whether it was, like I said, a business deal, oil deal, money, power, whatever it was. This guy also argued that we didn't have any chemical weapons, even though we all know we did in Iraq. Saddam did. He wiped an entire town in Kurdistan. You know this, Ned.
Like, yeah, I know about the chemical weapons, and I know they went to Al-Assad, to Syria,
Yeah.
and but I mean, there were also lies about nuclear weapons too, and I mean, Chalabi gave us a lot of bad intel, but when you saw just what they would do conventionally to people, much less mustard gassing entire populations,
Right.
and then the joy on regular citizens' face is when things calm down
Right.
during the rebuilding. It's helpful.
And again,
And people who say, well, why do we do it? Why do we get in other people's wars? This may be hard for some people to swallow, but it's an exercise. When we do that, we test our logistical trails, we test our warfighting capabilities, we test new weapons, how they're going to work effectively against an enemy. That's why America's so good at fighting wars. Now, that American service members, and we'd be really good if our hands weren't tied by politicians. So they let us play a little bit and then tie our hands. And then politicians make deals to leave lots of weapons in very bad places with very bad people.
Yep, exactly, Kelly. Yeah,
I saw the mass graves. I saw all of that when we were playing in the war.
I was there.
I mean, I was part of the C2 element.
Mhm.
Uh, so
I guess
yeah,
that's
Stan, I can't help that the non-cool guy has to hang out with all the cool people sometimes. They need a nerd.
that's funny. Um, yeah, there's so much more to it. These people don't understand like the war that we were in inside of this country before America arrived, you know. Um, they have no idea, no concept of what we, the people, went through with Saddam in power. You know what I mean? And this
Yeah,
dude thinks, oh, war is not the answer. Or killing people, there are going to be innocent people killed. Yes, it's a freaking war, and some wars are actually necessary. And then I even brought up the point, it's actually easier. He was like talking about how, there are no, terrorists anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's because they are fighting them over there. And it's easier for the US to fight them there than bring all that stuff here. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And he couldn't even understand that. He couldn't understand that. Oh, there's nothing going on. I'm like, yes, because the US is doing what they can do to keep it over there and fight them over there. Um, I don't know. It's just some of these people are like how can you fix stupid, right?
Can't fix stupid. Well, I mean,
We
I
can
like,
muffle it with duct tape.
yeah, yeah.
Ah,
That's one thing I
yeah,
told Todd yesterday. I'm like, you're 54 years old. You need to learn something.
right.
At some point in
Yep.
your life, you're not the smartest person in the room.
What do you think? So he did his first enlistment, got busted, and got out
Yeah,
What's up?
as a
Yeah.
private. He did 4 years.
that's
Then he
got.
went back in. What do you think motivated him to go back in? After his first enlistment, obviously wasn't a stellar.
Well, his story is Hiram. I just remember on Najaf. I blame some blast injuries, quite a few, but from him, it was his dad and his wife saying they were tired of him being a lazy POS, and he needed to do something, so he went back in the army.
And then he ran out of hua juice.
Yeah, but
Do we?
so when he
Did
went back in '05, right, Top,
Yeah.
and broke his neck or broke his back in '06, correct?
I don't know.
we'll get
That's what
back.
he says.
Well, it was like within that first year of coming back, he went to airborne school and then immediately
Did he? So
got
he would
injured.
have done a
But
the
but he,
whatever they did with.
I would think you would end up with a P3 for a fractured neck.
He said he had a P3 for his neck,
How
but
did he
he
reenlist?
recouped it somehow.
How did he reenlist?
I don't know. I mean, it was during the surge. They probably didn't give a shit.
Obviously,
Right?
Um,
they needed a commander's driver.
Yeah. We'll promote you to the sergeant major's driver and see how you do. Yeah, re-enlisting a guy with a P3 for a broken neck or back, whatever it was, and because he had said something about L3 to S1, and then some of his
L3 to
cervical.
S1 is all lower. That's your lower back and your
Yeah,
sacral area.
believe me, I have the screws to prove it.
Because I spent my time on airborne status was from 83 to 87 with the 82nd Airborne. Sometime in 85, I had fractured T5 we didn't know about, and we only found that out. I had a bad jump. I punched in, and about
What?
10 years later, I had some physician's assistant at Fort Jackson do an x-ray of my back and ask me when I broke my back. And I was like, what are you talking about? I just never broke my back. He said, well, yeah, you did. It's right here. See? And he showed me, and I was looking at it.
Well, it's
And he
because
says,
you had hua juice still.
yeah.
Mm.
He says,
Who
he
was
says, so you were airborne? I said, yep. He says, brag, yep. Okay, well, did you ever have a bad jump? Yep. We narrowed it right down to that jump on 9 Megan's DZ.
What's
Woke
up,
up the
Muck?
next, woke up the
to
next
that
morning at
point,
home.
I had at one
Tap,
point
check your private message.
But Based is saying something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying to that point, Master Sergeant, I at one point after an accident had a fracture in my neck. I guess I went to the VA, and anyways, I didn't even know. I was just making
Yeah.
a point. I think like you, I didn't realize.
I mean, I felt kind of shitty after that jump, but I mean, my ears were packed full of freaking dirt.
Yeah.
The next day, I don't even remember how I got home. But,
Motrin and water, man. Motrin and water. Fresh socks.
Yeah.
Drink water, walk it off. You'll be fine.
Yeah. That's funny.
What? I mean, that's what my doctors are amazed that I'm still living. I've taken max dose of Motrin since 1999.
You know what I
first
you know what
bad
I
jump.
changed from? I got off the Motrin and
Tylenol?
nope, diclofenac.
Don't know what that is.
How do you spell it?
Hold on, let me go grab my script bottle.
Because
All right.
I'll take anything to get off that stuff.
What, Motrin?
Yeah, I mean it'll kill you. And as much as I've taken, it's
Yeah.
Shit. Let me put on my old man glasses.
Ah,
hey, I have to wear mine all the time. Hey, thanks, Angel.
and top whenever.
So write this down. DICLOFENAC sodium.
Is it over the counter?
No.
Oh, so you have to ask the doctor.
50 milligram is what I take. I could take up to 3 a day. It says take 1 tablet by mouth 3 times a day as needed. I take 1 a day, where I was taking 1,600 milligrams of Motrin a day for the last 25 years.
I take 3,200 of Motrin a day.
Yeah.
Holy cow,
So
that's
you need to get off of that. These things are great. And believe it or not, I got prescribed this. I had an IOD where I got kicked in the balls by this fat little woman who didn't want to be arrested.
Oh.
And I managed to get my hand in the way, and I broke a finger too. And when I went to the hospital, the doc gave me that. He says, well, here. He says, you take a lot of Motrin? I said, yeah, I take Motrin every day. He's like, give this a try. This will help with your finger. Because you can't do nothing for the broken finger. You just tape it up and drive on. And
thanks,
for the nuts,
Angel Rivera.
for the nuts, an ice
appreciate it.
pack. I've been taking that now for a couple of years, and it's great.
Sammy, I had my first kidney problems back in February, I think, and I had 10 kidney stones, and it was a painful few weeks passing all those suckers.
Probably. Yeah. Top, did you check the private chat?
I did.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Based, your avatar is freaking me out because it's looking right into my soul.
Right through it.
Right through it, man.
Right through it. Do you know it's an upside down flag?
Yeah, it's a distress signal for military bases that they've been overrun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Airborne is all about the D, Stanley. I love you, Stan Haynes.
Stanley's funny.
Yeah.
I saw his comment the other day when Tiny Feet was saying, "Oh, he wants to meet my husband in the battlefield," and Stanley was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Bring him a basket of eggs?" I about died out of my seat. I about fell. I seriously laughed so hard. That was beautiful.
Stan made me this bottle opener, turned the wood and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure he turned the wood.
Yeah. He made me a pen too. I don't know where it is though. My kid probably stole it. Little jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
is-
Izzy, I responded to you.
Okay. I mean, do you want to send it?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to porn bomb us.
Well, I don't know how to send it. I guess. Yeah.
You just click the invite guests and copy the link and send it to them.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, copy the link. But yeah, so this is just crazy. But anyway, I wanted just to kind of talk crap about Chris. Just kidding. Just kidding. If Chris is gonna come here and be like, "Hey, what the heck?" No, but really, I really did have questions about like their community and what they do and why do they do it and whatnot, and what does it feel like to an officer? Dang, I can't even freaking copy this thing.
Stan, I got some hardwood for you. I got some maple out back, and you're not
Okay,
too
where-
far from me. You're only about 3 hours away.
Oh, really? You guys are 3 hours away?
Yeah, Stan's only about 3 hours away from me.
Uh-oh,
Oh.
Stan.
All right, triple TTT. Where are you, dude?
So, Top, there's going to be a movie called One Fast Move about motorcycle racers
Uh-oh.
coming out on Prime. A buddy of mine who used to race, he just broke his back.
What kind of racing?
Same as you.
Road racing.
Yeah, he did road racing. Jamie Staranis. He's in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, he rides number 42.
For which organization?
I'm not sure. He's the dispatcher at one of my shops in Atlanta. His last name's Staer.
Okay.
But he's going to be he's one of the stunt riders.
Triple T, wave at me, my friend.
You about
Oh, I
said
see.
MFer. I know you did. It was coming out of your mouth.
What?
Who does this?
Izzy about said Triple T, wave at me, MFer.
Oh, no, I would never say that. I said
Yeah, no, it was coming out of your mouth. I'm putting that jacket on you.
oh, man.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
I'll take
Hey,
it.
Triple T.
What's going on?
Man,
That
y'all
looks like
have-
a stacked uniform there, sir.
Yeah, 20 years, 3 months, 5 days. Not that I was counting.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So
That is,
I was listening to y'all's conversation today about the whole Iraq and the VA.
mhm.
And Master Sergeant, I know you said that you were going to get a panel with somebody from the AMVETS.
Yep.
No disrespect, but unless the person works for the VBA, don't listen to them. And the reason
Oh.
is, I work for the VBA. The law changes so much every day. We get anywhere from 75 to 100 emails on changes of the law. That if they don't work for the VBA, they won't be privy to that information. So even if you had somebody go through the process, like say last week, I guarantee the law has changed on what they went through.
Well, it is the government. If you don't like it, just wait a minute.
Yeah, no
That is
doubt.
true. But I will say this: the VA has come a long way since Trump. When Trump took office, one of the first things he did, he made it a lot easier and quicker for veterans to get the ratings a lot faster, quicker, and higher with less evidence. The problem is service members and veterans are not educated on how the VA system works. Once you understand how the VA process works, it's very easy to get to 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked my claim by myself. I the only trouble I have ever had was with the Army because they medically retired me. Well, they MEB'd me.
Did you apply for CRSC?
I have CRSC now,
Okay.
but they just wanted to give me a severance and let me go, but that wasn't how the law worked
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
because the VA and this was pre-VA. What is that? IDEF or whatever it is.
I does. What year was this?
I was 04.
04? Yeah. So the med board process didn't come into play until 2009.
With the IDES, yeah.
Right.
We got a
Correct.
question for you.
But so I had to sue the Army, and it turned into a class action lawsuit. So I got my DD 215 in
Correct.
2012, and they had to back pay me all those years of retirement and CRSC up to the point where they had established it. But that's
There is a
what
question,
kind of
by the way.
led to the IDAS system because the Army wasn't going by what the VA was rating.
Right.
Hmm.
So how does one look to find how the VA works? There's a law called a 38 CFR. It's public knowledge. Anybody can look it up. It's not classified. The problem is you got to know how to read that law. But it's very tricky on the verbiage and how they break things down. And then there's things in that law that's not open to the public.
Such as?
Flare-ups.
Oh. Non-chronic stuff.
Flare-ups has its own rating. So look at I'll take your back for an example. And first of all, let me throw this disclaimer out there. I work for the VA, but right now I'm not representing the VA because I've been doxxed. People have called my job to try to get me fired.
Oh yeah.
That I'm
Join the club.
representing the VA on YouTube. No, I do not. Okay. I would also tell you, don't ever hire anybody to do your VA claim because there's a couple YouTube channels that will take 20% of your back pay. Don't listen to those people. They have no idea what they're talking about. And they got me banned from their channel.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of the VSOs will take 10 to 20%. You get
But that's illegal because they're not supposed to because they work for the state. And if they're taking 10 to 20% of your back pay, then that's a racketeering and they can go to jail.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, I
TT,
mean, there
are
was-
you familiar with GS?
Say again?
Are you familiar with a homesteader by the name GS?
No.
Okay, generally specific.
What do you mean by
No.
homesteading?
He. Go ahead, Izzy. Just don't confuse him.
All right, he calls himself a homesteader. I'm sorry. Maybe you explain it better, Master Sergeant.
Are you talking about those people who think they have to follow the law?
What? No. This is just
No,
one of the guys that's out in left field. He said he never went through the VA, but he's medically retired.
That's impossible.
Yeah, and none of what he said makes a whole lot of sense.
See, here's the thing about stolen valor.
No, he
He
served.
served.
Okay, I'm
He
not. I understand that, but here's the thing: a lot of people don't realize about stolen valor. Anybody can put on a military uniform and claim to be military. That is not stolen valor, according to the law. The law states as long as you are not gaining profit for claiming you're in the military,
Someone
like tip, free stuff, discounts, that's not stolen valor. Now, if you put on a uniform and go around and claim to be a veteran to get discounts or free stuff, then that is stolen valor. Not me.
I guess it was no one. It was Todd's ghost.
It was fucking Ned. That's who it was. I know it was him.
no.
See that shit-eating grin. It might have been somebody's phone too.
Yeah.
If you're on a phone, it'll do that sometimes. Not me, but
No, I'm not
I'm
on
on
a
a
phone.
phone. Anyway,
Is.
I got a question for Triple T.
Yes, sir.
This is a good one.
Mhm.
There was a female a while back claiming to be a veteran.
Yeah.
So a friend at the time had me come up and told me the story and went over it. And I said, no, she's absolutely not a veteran. She joined the National Guard and failed her MEPS physical. But she was claiming veteran status. And she said that the VA told her she was a veteran.
No, and the only way you can get veteran status, you have to have 180 days of consecutive active duty.
Thank
Yep.
you.
We try to tell people this all the time.
However, there are exceptions to that rule where
Yeah, like
somebody
if
is
you
so
were
debilitated during basic training.
right. So I was a
something
drill
like
sergeant at Fort Knox from 2001 to 2005. We had a kid on the confidence course fall off the rappel tower and broke his back in like week 5 of basic training. That person was medically retired and was considered a veteran.
Yep.
That's
what
the
I tried to
only way. If you're
So
extremely injured while in training less than 180 days, that you can no longer work, that you will be classified as a veteran.
Yeah, so she failed the MEPS physical due to pregnancy,
No.
and then said it was an injury. Therefore, she was a veteran, and I'm like, you
won't
I've
even
been-
have a DD 214.
I've been doing this stolen valor shit now for over 10 years, and I have got tons and tons and tons and tons of military records, and that was the first time I ever heard of somebody saying that pregnancy was an injury. I was like, what happened? Did you fall down and somebody's dick fell in you or what? I don't understand.
I came across an individual last night that I'm about to dig into. He's a YouTuber that goes by
What's
the name
up,
of
Shiz?
Ernie Shell. That is, everybody's saying that he's stolen valor. I don't know. I haven't checked into him.
Ernie Shell. Wait a minute. Let me check my
True-
records here.
true
That
crime.
name's familiar.
He's in the true crime community out of Kentucky.
What was the name?
Ernie Shell.
Ernie?
Yeah, he goes by Lightning Tiger now. That's his YouTube channel.
So let me ask you a question, Triple T.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bring up any names, but if you were jumping out of a helicopter at Fort Polk, Louisiana, and you,
how did you know I'm at Fort Polk?
yeah, I spent almost 5 years on Fort Polk.
So do you know me?
I don't know.
Because that's exactly where I'm at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was there a long time
We just
ago.
looked you.
When were you here?
I was there 99 to 02.
Okay.
But after 01, I wasn't on the on base. I would come back, do plans, do rotations, and then redeploy. So I was on North Fort up at Self Airfield, right across from Shugart Gordon.
Yeah.
Launching and recovering drones.
Okay.
So
What's
that's
the
what my
question?
propellers are from.
You said you had
Oh,
a
it's
question
always,
about jumping out of
always
a helicopter.
baseball.
What was that, Triple T?
Yeah, what was the rest of your question, Ned?
Oh, so if you hurt your back because you were receiving hazardous duty pay
He broke his neck.
and broke your neck, would you be considered? I know the answer to this. Disabled, a combat disabled vet
Combat related injury, yes. And here's
for
why.
in training.
Yes. So the law says in order to get a combat related injury, you must be injured in combat or training for combat.
Even
He
if it
was
was just
he
an
was jumping.
exercise.
He was
Yes.
jumping for pay. That's all he was doing.
It doesn't matter. You're still training for
I
combat.
understand that. I spent 5 years on jump status.
But I thought that was only for CRSC pay purposes, not.
Yes, for CRSC's paper, but however, if you do want even okay, for an example, let's say you only did 4 years and you didn't medically retire. You just did 4 years, got out. You still want to get it listed as a combat related injury because if you have that combat related injury listed as part of your rating, it's going to help you out when it comes to like your state benefits because every state is different. Some states offer, if you have such of a percentage of combat related injuries, a certain percentage, your children can go to college for free, even if you're not at that 90% window.
Yeah, I mean, I get all that for.
Yeah, because you're CRSC. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is for the average veteran who only did 4 years, they got out, just ETS, they didn't do a med board, but they injured themselves while on active duty, while training, like jumping out of an aircraft and broke their neck. You want to get it listed as a combat related injury in your rating because some states, if you have a certain rating at a combat related injury, your kids and your spouses will be entitled to free education. Does that make sense?
Kinda, but I'm still struggling with the training thing.
I don't.
Yeah,
So look,
this
the
is-
VA doesn't write the law. Congress writes the law.
So what about like when we are not in any conflict?
You're still training for combat.
Well, I mean, holy shit! I mean, my ankles could be a combat-related injury.
Yeah,
then.
they can be.
So Ned, do you remember last night
Now,
when I
here's
kept
the
saying
situation.
technically? Do you remember the technically?
on.
Yeah,
Hold
technically,
on.
technicality. Yeah.
Go ahead, Oracle.
Wait, let's read the super chat. This is to Master Sergeant. Can you read this?
Oh, I had a stolen valor video about a lame homeless guy with a sign begging for money. I took it down because it was making look way worse by belittling. Yeah, because those guys are usually they've got other things going on. I drive through the big city of Worcester, Massachusetts, and on every street corner there's a veteran begging for money. Obviously, never been a veteran, but I just don't bother.
Yeah.
Base, go ahead.
I'll give you another example of a combat related injury. This is a true story. A year ago, we had a guy get med boarded. So I work strictly with active duty soldiers. Okay. I process their claims before they get off active duty. Soldier was in Afghanistan, got hit by an IED, was blown out of the back of LMTV, and shattered his right forearm. Is that a combat related injury?
Absolutely. He's in a.
No, it's not. And here's why. When it got to the med board process, they asked him, when traveling through the air, did your arm hit your M16 or M4? No. When you hit the ground, did any of your equipment break your arm? No. That's not considered a combat related injury because the Earth's surface in Afghanistan is no different than the Earth's surface in New Jersey. Now, if he had while flying through midair, hit his arm against his equipment, then it would be considered a combat related injury. That's how depth they go into it.
So how does it, if you're doing a Hollywood jump with no equipment, how does that constitute a combat jump?
Because civilians are not going to be jumping out of aircrafts on a daily basis. Here's another example. There was E4 in Iraq, was working in the CP. Mortars came in, and the vibrations rocked the building so hard that the Singar radios fell off the shelf, landed on top of his head, and broke 3 of his vertebrae in his neck. That was not considered a combat-related injury because the Singar radios are used by some civilian police departments.
That's
Just giving me more and more info to hate the VA.
yeah.
Right. But see, that's not. But that's the problem, though. That's not the VA doing that. That's Congress doing that.
Yeah.
Congress writes all the laws. See, that's where everybody gets misinterpreted. Everybody wants to poke fingers at the VA.
Who's interpreting?
So
who's
it's a different
interpreting the
part.
law?
Only
Yeah,
thing
the
the
federal
VA
government.
Can we
does
pause and let
is
Base?
enforce the law.
Can we pause and let Base say what he was trying to say like 5 minutes ago?
Sure.
Yeah, so I was gonna say back then about your stream last night. This is why I kept saying technically,
Yeah.
right? In terms of what Triple T is pointing out, I don't know the distinguishment. Obviously, he does, or that's what it seems like. So I'm just saying for Todd to say that, because I think was the point of your question. Sure, it's technically true, but so to speak, our sentiments, right, is why are you saying that? Right?
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
look
Why
at
are
it
you
like
going
that.
around saying I'm a disabled combat vet as some kind of sword and shield when you know it's just a technicality?
Right.
It's a lot different than say a guy killing a suicide bomber, but the bomb detonates anyway and blows all your teeth out, right?
And to the last point, I mean, what you're saying, Triple T, well, this isn't the VA, it's Congress.
Right.
Sure, it's a distinction without a difference, I would say, both federal government.
Right.
But somebody at the VA is interpreting these laws.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got their lawyers.
Yeah.
Okay, no, well, technically, when it goes to the med board, that's not done by the VA. That's done by the military.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with that.
And whatever they get off the med board, 99.9% of the time, the VA is going to match it.
Well, on the when we did the lawsuit, the med board is supposed to look at the VA's rating schedule, and whatever the VA rating schedule is for that condition, the med board is supposed to match it so it can marry up.
Right.
By law, and that was the problem. They weren't doing that
Yeah, the military wasn't doing that.
pre-09,
Right.
and they were screwing the soldiers over like crazy. And they still do. We got a friend that has been fighting that too.
But see, everybody thinks that the military gives a rating for the med board. The only thing the military is going to do is determine if you're fit or unfit. If they find you unfit, now they have to come up with a percentage to determine what your retirement is going to be. If you're 20% or less, you get a severance package. 30% or more, you get medically retired with full benefits.
Yep. What's that? Was that Joshy's account?
Do I have a channel?
that?
Yeah, I am a
Yeah.
music reactor. I don't.
Okay.
I do strictly music.
Fine fix finish.
But you are willing to, have these conversations.
Oh yeah, I love these type of conversations.
Good. Because I really would love to get into this kind of continue.
I used to do a veterans panel, but in my
Okay.
community, it got so toxic that I just stopped it because there was too many trolls and people calling my job, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
Well, so that's the main purpose, and I got too caught up in toddler drama.
Too many times.
Yeah, that to do the things, talk to people about the med board process, things that are offered to veterans all over the place. That's where I need to get back to. So
Yeah, I can give you a whole block of instruction on how to file your claim from start to finish, on how the whole process works, what your exams will be like. I can even give you access to where to find the medical forms, and do all that.
yeah, I mean that's where a lot of people
As
just
a
get frustrated.
civilian, not as a VA rep.
Right. In your personal capacity, as we like to say.
Right. Correct.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Jeffro, never too soon in the house.
Have y'all ever heard of the organization or music group called Outlaw Nation, who sung a song called "Welcome to My House"?
No, I
Got like
haven't.
No, not yet.
143 million on YouTube.
Good grief.
Jesse Howard and New Breed. Never heard of them?
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm their official reaction channel. That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's awesome. But yeah, this is great. I mean, we need to hear about this.
Triple T, look at Never Too Soon's comment. Med boarded with 60.
I was med board with 6% VA rating with 0% dental rating. My sensitivity I did not qualify. That is the one thing the VA will not cover or give you a percentage on is dental. Okay.
Wow.
So I'll give you a little backstory myself. In 2006, from April through September, I was directly hit by 5 IEDs. I lost half of my upper teeth. So I have an implant. I got 0%. They won't even recognize dental. Now, if you get 100%, you get free dental for life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we know Jeff Never Too Soon and his story very well. Has a Purple Heart, Archon with V. He was holding his teeth. So he ran up on a suicide bomber, shot him, and the bomb detonated anyway. He somehow lived. He's still missing his bottom teeth. Waiting.
Now,
on
the
him.
VA will, because if it's in the line of combat, the VA will replace them or send you to get dental implants.
He's been playing hell getting anything done. Shabbat Shalom, Isaac.
I'm trying to get, yeah. Well, this is all helpful information. I mean, this is what we need to do, just to help other vets, right?
And
I think this is what
Never
you're
Too Soon, we
doing.
still need to get together and work on fixing all that because your paperwork does say you're retired as well, so you need to visit your local base too.
Right. No, and Ned, you mentioned that this is something that you want to start eventually is a channel to kind of like explain to people what TTT is doing, right?
Yeah, TTT would be a
You just say triple T. You don't have to say
Triple T. Good. Triple T's much better.
I like the TTT. I need 3 T's.
Well, that's
Yeah,
for
that
women.
would
They
be
have
great.
2 in the front, 1 in the back, so when you're dancing, you can hold on to one.
So if you don't mind me asking, TTT, what is it that you do now?
I work for the VA.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in his non-official capacity talking to us. That's why I keep saying it.
Anyway, Triple T, like I said, I'm gonna do that panel, and I would love to have you on it then.
Yeah, anytime.
Because there's guys that have got questions.
I sent you an email showing you my schedule because Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Monday and Thursday, I have a competition show on my channel, and then every other Wednesday and every other Friday, I have a show.
All right, we'll figure something
do you
out.
mind? Go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Do you mind just putting your email in the private chat? TTT?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. This way we all, have it. Based, you've been quiet. You started all of this, and here you are sitting
I
in
just
the
like to
back.
light the fires. I don't like to put them out. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I noticed. Oh my gosh, it's funny. Oh, do you have that clip? Can you show them with that one guy who wanted to come find you right now and going to fly from cross whatever the world and destroy you right now? Do you have that based?
Yeah, I can put that up.
Oh,
in
that'd
a
be cool.
second here. Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
60 seconds. I just cut out a clip of it. And this dude is furiously triggered. You may notice some, Todd-isms within, very similar. But yeah, all the threats come out, and to me that doesn't mean anything. The threats are just that. If you're gonna do it, then do it.
I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody's threatened me over the years.
I'd be a rich man.
Just in the last 9 years as a police officer.
So this is me up here on Mel Pandora's panel, and this guy on the right here, Harvey De Niro.
That's right.
Yep. So here goes.
If I was next to you now, I'll floor you. I'll knock
You
you
would
down.
do nothing,
fucking
Harvey.
Head. You don't
You
have
would
strong
shut your
arm, do you?
mouth, which you're having a hard time doing here.
Get fucked, you fucking son of a bitch. Who the fuck are
Can
you,
we
you
just chill a
motherfucker?
little bit on panel? I don't know what happened. 1 minute.
If
Yeah,
I was
don't
next
either.
to you now,
He's
I'd
mad.
deck you with one fucking punch, you son of a bitch.
No, can we just be careful
I'll
on
kill
language?
you. I'll knock you out. I will knock you so
Damn,
fucking
you
hard.
say you're gonna
I'll knock you
what me?
tomorrow, you son of a bitch. Who the fuck are you? I don't even know who you are. Who are you to come up
He a
and
fan?
talk to me
No,
like
Rude
that?
Mudcrab, right? He a
Don't
fan.
fucking talk to me like that, you cunt. I'll come to the USA and I'll track you down. I've got contacts. Some of the companies I work for and some of the government corporations, I'll track you down in seconds. I can track you down right now. You come up with your fucking IP address. I'll tell you, I'll dox you here live. I'll dox you right now if you want.
Hey, I was taking a
Right.
You
shit.
don't
Can
know
you
my
repeat all
history,
that?
son of a bitch. You don't know who I've worked for, what government establishments I've worked for. I can track you down in seconds if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that.
Oh, that's right. Because I looked the guy up and I told you, I said, check out his channel. And it shows him, all of his videos are like in his kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
looks
yeah.
like- it looks like a dump.
The karaoke shit.
Yeah.
Well, before
And I
this
lo-
broke
ahead.
out, he was bragging about how he has $1 million house and a
Yeah.
new BMW, and all he was doing was bragging. So I had to come up on panel to put him in his place a little bit.
That was great. Yeah. Braggadocious. I doubt, and I think I made a comment.
Yeah,
I
that
said,
was-
I don't think he's got the money to get a cab to the airport to come over here.
Yeah, that probably a fair assessment.
Yeah. Well, oh shoot, I was gonna say if you can show us some of his activities on his channel. That was really funny.
He sings.
You don't know who I worked for in the government.
Well, I'll tell you something that came up last night. So I got a message, an email, and this dude Harvey sent over. I was told not to show it, and I abide by that. So I'm not going to show it. But a picture he sent one of the women of him in a thong, and it is
Really?
somehow as bad as a dick pic.
Some of those
Yeah.
banana hammocks are worse than.
Yeah.
Well,
no
he was
one
showing
told
it
me
from
not
the
to
ass
show it.
crack.
Yeah. That was insane. And that's right after another dude told you that he was going to come and F you up, right?
Yeah, I think that was a day later from me getting a prior death threat. So.
Wow. You keep collecting them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That says something right there. Right?
I'm triggering.
Very.
You're a subversive. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I like to push back, ask questions, and he was like, I'm gonna explain to you what an alpha male is, and he just starts going into all this superficial bullshit. And I said, okay, that's all that it is. And he said, yeah. I said, so you can be abusive, right? You could abuse your wife, for instance. And he's like, I don't do that.
Whoa. Thanks for
Is
that.
that what he
Inspiring
looked
my
like?
vision.
It's very.
Borat wore it better.
That is-
We'll say that.
Yeah, Borat did a good job with it.
This is
man.
hilarious. Oh my gosh! No, I'm gonna have to send it to. I don't know how to show it. Hold on.
John,
Text
we
message.
would have to be fair and balanced on that one and talk about both candidates. And we don't like to do the politics.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I stay away from politics and religion.
I get into it a
Yes.
little bit at times and go after both for whatever reasons, and it ends up triggering everyone. Sometimes we have to do a little sub reset,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about the military service of both those candidates. So
Yeah. I'm gonna
go
send it.
go
I'm
watch
gonna send
Angry
it.
Cops if you
Oh,
want.
that guy's a joke.
Yeah,
Which
but he
one?
makes me laugh.
Hold on. Where do I email this?
So I have another thought on the VA disability stuff, just as I've been dealing with it for years, and I don't work for them, of course, anything like that.
What's your
But
percent?
having 70 currently. So having some friends who have gone through the process, knowing many people throughout the years, one thing that I have found helpful and I find could be helpful for many people is if you utilize ChatGPT, the paid version, you can get a veteran VA version of it, and it is it can be very useful, for people with specific issues.
Huh.
Yeah, so it kind of compiles, as far as I know, a lot of what have been successful claims, and but like you said, Triple T, it's changing by the day. So I don't know how everything updates, but I have found that to be helpful in questions that I had specifically versus calling the VA or dealing with a VSO, which I've done plenty of that.
Coded.
Problem with VSOs is that they don't work for the VA. They work strictly for the state.
Yeah.
And they're usually between 6 to 12 months behind on regulations. Because they don't take the time to educate themselves with the 38 CFR. We give it to them, we show them how it's done, but they're lazy.
Yeah,
and
Kelly,
then
you're really good at.
Go ahead, Izzy.
No, Kelly was saying, they love trolling internet tough guys, and let me tell you, Kelly is really good at it. What's up, Coded? But I sent you the picture, Ned and Master Sergeant. If you want to bring it up, that's fine.
Ah! It's gonna soft on my eyes.
So this is the tough guy.
Don't want to see that shit.
Are you bringing it up, Ned?
I can't bring it up. I don't have any permissions.
Oh, we mean you can bring it up. Just I don't know how to do it from my cell
You hit
phone.
you hit the present button as a guest.
No, I know how to do that, but it's not linked
I'm
to my
telling Ned.
phone. Well, I guess. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ned.
Yep.
Get with it.
Yeah, I'm not bringing that up.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible, isn't it?
That's.
Oh, here you go,
that-
Triple T. My
It is
avatar.
that bad.
I'm just kidding.
Air
It
Force?
is bad. It's terrible.
No, that's
the guy who. This is the
Polk
dude
Army
that
Airfield
wanted
in
to
front of the Hind.
Okay.
and hurt Based.
What's that?
The picture I sent you top is the picture of the dude that Based just played a clip of, who wanted to find him and who said, I know people in the US that can find you. That's his picture.
Oh, you have it.
He,
Okay.
he doesn't know his
I do
ass from a
have
hole
it.
in the ground.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. So, anyways, he sent
Yeah,
that
I
to
know.
women that were on panel, I guess, or a woman or women, and I
wasn't
was
told not to
shocked.
share it.
makes
Yeah.
me ill.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
It's, but I'm, just because I am that guy. Um, uh, just because I am that freaking guy. Why is
What's
this?
up, Brick Jonesy?
Hey, Brick Jonesy.
Because you are that guy and you're so worried about all the tough guys, right?
Doesn't want to open.
Dang it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to go up there. No.
Yeah, my computer's having
It's so
a heart
good.
attack.
Well, of course.
Oh no!
Even the
Blue eyes.
all right, close your
How are
eyes,
you?
everyone.
Close your eyes if you don't want to be completely disgusted.
Yes. Warning,
All right,
warning,
so this is,
warning.
remember, right, this is the dude who threatened Based and told him he was going to find him after Based called him out for being an idiot. And so this is the type of picture, this is one of the type of pictures he sent to women.
I just,
Yeah,
it's mind blowing.
yeah.
All right, get rid of that thing.
Yeah.
Got enough, right?
Hey, Brick, I hope you're not mad at me now that the breakup with Vips happened with Todd. Me and you can still have great conversations, bud.
Okay.
You're so full of shit, Ned.
Who, me?
What's up, Brick? What are you up to, Brick?
Manties. Scotto said
Manties.
they're manties.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
seriously. Wow.
He just looks like somebody gave him a good wedgie.
Yeah, right. Atomically.
Oh, that is insane. So wait, Ned, you had a conversation with Jonesy?
Just in chats. We have
Oh, okay.
we have really good conversations in chats.
That's good. I'm glad. So he wasn't being nasty or anything.
No.
That's good.
No, he came up on one of my streams. He was very pleasant. Wasn't disrespectful. We had a good conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like me and Vips. Did you watch our show yesterday?
No, not yet.
That's
I mean,
what you were reviewing, right?
He was fun.
That's what you were reviewing last night, Ned?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
We
heard
were watching Todd watch us again. Watch.
Oh, yeah, yep. You send me some of the clips. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it was a good conversation.
The mean girl YouTube streets. There's some mean streets, Brick.
Yeah.
Does it?
So
Why we have Triple T up here? Anybody have VA questions? Where were you, drill sergeant? Triple T.
Fort Knox.
Oof.
I went through ANOC at Fort Knox while you were on the trail there, I believe.
What year?
Was it friggin' 05?
I came off the trail in January of 05.
Yeah, you had just left. You had just left then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fort Knox. That's like J.J. Scarborough's neck of the woods there.
Yeah.
Meade County.
And Toddler.
And Toddler. They
Yeah.
both right around that area.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
But Izzy, I'm going to have to beg out 2.5 hours.
That's long.
That's a marathon for me.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
is.
no, I totally get it. We do need to have another show just to kind of like, again, I feel like I didn't really get to the whole the police and what are they called? What do they
Cop
call
watchers.
themselves? Cop
Cop
watchers. Is that different from the other community? What are they called?
They all kind of
Auditors?
fall in line with the First Amendment auditors and stuff. Chili DeCastro, he's one of the most prolific cop watchers. He's a nasty little bastard, and I would love for him to come to Massachusetts because he would definitely get arrested for obstruction.
Yeah.
I think he's at least smart enough to know what states not to go into. Well, no, he was in Mass when the whole Kate thing happened, wasn't he?
I don't know, was he? I don't.
Yeah.
I wasn't following that.
Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't following that.
I would love to learn more about it. So I'll message you and then we'll come up with something. I do, let's see. Thank you so much to
Hiram?
those are your, yep. And then you got Bree.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Bree.
And then you have
Hiram again. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. You don't really need to do it.
Thank you.
But thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you
Brick.
guys. Yeah. Gordon.
Brick, we know you love chili. We forgive you for that, but I still have a million times more respect for Chili than I do Todd. So I'll leave that
Who's
there.
Chili?
Chili, just go watch Chili DeCastro, Delete Laws. He can't be explained in a summary.
He just got out of jail.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wowza. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll message you. We'll find some other time. I think I might invite Chris.
Hey, do it.
Yep. And Base Triple T, I'll get a hold of you guys and we'll try and get a veterans thing together. Ned.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys, we'll try and get a veterans panel together and talk about the trials and tribulations of the VA.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be good. And then, yep,
I know Double D's husband has been getting to run around with the VA, so I'd like to get him up here too. Maybe he can learn something.
Yeah, I'll bring some PowerPoint presentations that we brief the soldiers on.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, that would really be awesome. I want to
try
try to
process goes from start to finish, and then because, like I said, there's parts of the 38 CFR that's not public knowledge. So even though I work for the VA, I don't work for the VA. I actually work for the soldiers because I try to get everybody to 100%.
Right.
Whether they served in combat or not. And my philosophy on that is that when they signed that contract, they said they were willing to die for this country. If they didn't get deployed, that's not their fault. They had no control over that. At least they were man enough or woman enough to sign that contract to put their life on the line if caught upon. And if there's people in this country willing to spit in their face for the uniform that they wear, why shouldn't they get 100%?
Synagogue of Satan. I go to the Terrence Howard School of Math, so 1,000,000 times 0 is probably going to be 2, according to Terrence Howard.
Oh, VA math is the easiest math in the world.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll get you that box of grid square stand. Stop bitching. As soon as you get me that 5-gallon bucket of rotor wash.
They will be brought to you by a Pricky 8.
Nice.
Hey now.
Nice. No, this
He's
is good.
He's not the only 8 up here.
Oh boy, both of you got me by one. So
That's true.
Ah,
I'd love to have you guys, and then I really want to know your story, Top, eventually. Just like
which
why?
one?
Yeah,
Well,
which one
that's
you
he
true.
talking?
wants to know
Uh,
my story.
If you want to know
if
my
you
story, just Google my name, Timothy Scott Fowl, Sergeant First Class.
No, I want to have like a sit down. I want to like just
All
why I
kind of
decided
stuff on
to
New
do
York
this.
Times, books written about me. There's a lot of stuff out there about me.
Okay, then I would love to hear yours. Just like more of why why we're
We
here.
we
What
want to
got
hear
you?
more about Based too. We love you, Based.
No, we don't care about
Sitting there
dates.
being quiet, looking in my
No.
soul.
he's an excellent placekeeper, isn't he?
Yeah.
0.3 acres farm.
I try.
Ah.
All right,
No,
I'm
but it's
banging out.
really
See you guys.
See
all right.
y'all.
We'll see
Have a good one.
Be
for
good.
sure. But no, it would be kind of good. I would love to know more, as an interpreter, what you didn't do, all that fun stuff, why, what led you to, even enlisting to begin with. So it would be kind of cool. I got your email. I'll email you for sure.
Yeah, I have it
And
too. I mean, I'm gonna try to do a weekly show, just updating regs and stuff like that. Like the last burn pit notification that went out, I posted it put it on Discord. That's the only place I really had to put it at the time. But
yeah,
just keeping people aware. A lot of people don't pay attention, and that burn pit registry is very important.
The burn pit
Okay.
registry is going to end up going away.
It's what?
It's going to be going away here pretty soon.
No.
oh, it is.
Yeah, because they got a new program out called a Lear Report. The VA linked up with every military branch, and they went back and they cataloged every place you've ever stepped foot on for foreign soil by latitude, and longitude, and shows the short-term effect and the long-term effect of being in those areas, which is great.
That'll be interesting. I mean,
And
I'm already 100%, so
I can actually bring an example one. I just have to go
Cool.
through and take all the PI information out, show people what it looks like.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
would be good. Yeah. Base, did you see this? Sammy said you are growing on her event. Well, finally.
Yeah, that happens a bit. A lot of times people hate me at first, and then they're like, "Oh,
No.
But
Yep.
yeah, and sometimes they end up hating me again. Is what it is.
Uh-huh. Yep. I get the same. And then here, come on, Jonesy. We were good. We were just good with you,
He's
dude.
playing.
Why?
That's some Brick Jonesy love right there.
All right. He's playing. Bye, Scotto. But no, this would be good, honestly. Just to kind of get together and do it often.
Yep.
It'll be good for the soul. And
Thanks, Triple
you
T. It was
know-
nice meeting you, man.
Nice meeting y'all too.
Yeah, good talking with you guys. So I will see you later.
Yep.
when I see you. Yep.
All right.
Anyway,
cool.
so you know who is going to accuse me of hiring you all, right?
Oh well, that's a given.
Yeah. Okay. So
All right, I appreciate you allowing me to come up. Just reach
absolutely.
out to me anytime.
Yeah,
you need anything.
absolutely, man.
I'm here.
You're awesome.
I'm going to
All
the
right.
channel. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the information. It was awesome. And so
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
I'm happy to have you anytime.
All right, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Take-
Yeah, you too. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have he's gonna do a live probably tonight.
Yeah.
I really can't think he's going to ignore it. What do you think?
He never ignores anything. Come on.
So yeah, I mean,
Especially now after yesterday, he's either gonna run or be locked on, and I say he's gonna be locked on until he burns himself out. He's like a 3-year-old, they rage until they fall asleep.
you homewrecker. So you you went in there, and that's funny. That's good, dude. That's good psyop, as they say, right?
Well, I mean, and it wasn't intended to be. I got pissed, sent a man an email, and he made it public. And so Vips wanted to do a show, and I told him I would come up,
Yeah.
and it led to that.
So wait, so you actually so you wrote him an email, told him to knock it off, right?
Yeah.
And he wrote you a novel back, correct?
Yeah, it was like a what, 15, 20 sentences, and hey Sammy, putting me on that VOP shit. It was only 3 email chain.
What's VOP?
VOP likes to send emails.
Oh, it's a person. Okay, I thought that was.
Vestige of peace.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
that was like some short for something. Okay.
And
And
then he's like still calling me a communist and to suck every inch of his dick. So I guess that would be one.
well, that doesn't take. I mean, that's not going to be really much, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's good now, Sammy. I totally agree. We have good conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I sent him another. He had an address my other email, my response. I think you probably saw the response.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah. And then did he respond to that?
No, not yet. I don't know that he will.
Probably not. He's probably
But
gonna.
I mean, he'll be all over this. So
Yeah, he's gonna probably.
But Sammy, to that point, yeah, he was going off on me being a communist and hating America on stream. So I just sent him an email, man to man, and that little wuss friggin' decided to put it up on his generally specific channel and want to talk shit. So,
And you know what's funny is that he is the one that hates America. He literally hates America.
he just hates. He's just
Well, and he hates, but he hates. I mean, think about it. He hates Americans. He hates Muslims, Jewish people, Christians that are not like his weird Christianity.
his brand of Christianity. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He hates women. He hates. I mean, it just like the list goes on and on and on and on, and then accuses everybody else, and calling everybody else these weird freaking things that he does. But honestly, ultimately, he is the one that's anti-America.
Yeah.
He
I
hates
mean,
himself. That's a great point.
his childhood had to have sucked, and I'm not taking that away from him. But you're 54 years old. You're
Get over it.
And he falls in this alpha male thing, right?
Yeah.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get out of the muck.
Bingo.
I mean,
Bingo.
the reason I spent so much time in the synagogue. Oh, hang on, Mitch.
Nice.
I love my pipe.
That's nice. Awesome.
He
Go get him. Go get him, mac and cheese.
yeah. Wake him up. He's probably hungover as fuck.
Yikes.
But 54 years, you got to pull yourself out. Where I was going, the reason I was in synagogue with my other grandmother so much is because my other grandmother lived with us and abused. I mean, I'm not using this. I'm just telling y'all.
Yeah.
She abused the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So I was there all the time, and then I'd come back and be in the church and yada
Right.
yada yada. So that was a very Seinfeldy thing to say, I guess. But I've never used it as a crutch. I've used
Bingo.
it as a stepping stone to get out of the situation I was in.
Right.
Sherlock Shalom, I love it. Thank you, mac and cheese. That was awesome.
That is really good. No, you're right. I mean, like, you know, and I hate it when people are like, "Oh, look at this is why I act the way I act because of my childhood." I got myself out of the shithole country
Yeah,
on my
exactly.
own. Literally, you have no idea the stuff that I went through. I mean, like punished, burnt, you name it, kicked until like you're peeing blood. All kinds of stuff happened. But
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna
I know
go ahead.
how it is third world countries living in the population, and
Absolutely.
it's terrible.
It is terrible, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I'm such a victim because, you know, all of this stuff. No, make something out of yourself, you know,
Yeah.
do something with your, and especially when you're freaking 54, like really, get over yourself, really get
Sam,
over yourself.
Sammy, I mean, I never hated my parents. I love them. I see them all the time. That grandmother, I didn't even go to her funeral. I will say that I was very bitter about that, but it
Right.
still drove me to the success I lived in life.
Right. Right. But I mean, here, even same like with, you know, so many people, like look at Mitch, you know,
Yep.
but we're not going to use it or like, you know, just stop. Like
Mitch,
you're an adult.
Mitch is the man. So much respect for that man. He stands on business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He uses it in the as a same derogatory as he uses Jews.
Right. Such an idiot. And then tries to use these big words and doesn't know how to pronounce them or actually use them properly, you know? And when he tries to say the Arabic words, I'm like, please stop. Like you are not even saying them correctly and it makes you look dumber than ever, you know?
Yeah.
Like Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a hua in Allah.
Well, that's how he's trying to get some hua juice back.
Yeah.
Ned and Bubba.
Where's it?
How
What's
do
the
you know
other
my
one?
childhood nickname?
Oh,
Have
nice.
you been running some Elin on me, Sammy?
Most likely.
Or
Sammy.
comment? Trackable.
That's funny. But then the other one too, what was it? He was like, I was over there fighting for fighting Al Qaeda. I'm like, who is Al Qaeda? I'm like, I don't think we've ever had issues with Al Qaeda. We had issues with Al Qaeda.
You know, Lola, a bar mitzvah in Hawaii would be so cool.
Yeah.
Aloha snack bar mitzvah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. But yeah, some of the things he said. So I heard him yesterday say that I will be dealt with. You know, he's going to deal
No,
with
you needed to be, yeah, they would need to be, you need to be redressed along with us. Does he want to design us some gowns?
Yeah, I know. So I heard that. And then another one where he said, she will be dealt with. What does that mean? And then he wants to meet my husband in the battlefield.
Yeah.
Dude, you sure you want to meet my husband in the battlefield? My husband is 6'1" and he is like 3 times bigger than me. You know?
Angel.
So,
No, I ain't gonna give away a secret about things.
no, don't give away secrets.
Hiram bifidum. I don't know what you're trying to get across or whatever. It's coming off as weird.
Yeah. But honestly, like even, you know, what is he like? Or he wants to make these complaints, and who is he he's going to complain to?
The
And what
manager.
do you the manager? So he's a Karen. And then what are they gonna say? Like, oh, did they hurt your feelings, your little feelings? You know what I mean?
Hey, Coded. There was a text thread going around last night amongst the Todd Elite saying that you were a valet in Atlanta. I mean and not in the Pacific.
Yeah, that's funny.
Just so you know.
But yeah, so the battlefield. Where is going to be the battlefield? I am curious.
Yes, Hiram. That is where algebra came from. Still don't.
What?
I'm still not gathering your point. You keep jumping from Jewish stuff to Hebrew. I mean, not to Hebrew.
Well, no, algebra came from the Arabic world. What about it?
No. That's what he said. Arabic Muhammad ibn.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, discovered algebra.
Oh, I don't know about Muhammad discovering the algebra.
No, is Al.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I can tell you that I finished all of my algebra, the 1 and 2, when I was in high school. I used to be really good at math.
I was just updating you, Coded, on that. So they're trying to find you. We may converge at some point in the mean streets of Atlanta.
That is funny. But now, yeah, so now he wants to meet me, you, F3 crew, Mitch,
Jason.
I believe, Finkel, Jason, who else? I'm trying to think.
Muckster,
Finkel.
because we're all in the same group.
Right. So he's gonna meet us all in the battlefield. Yeah, I mean that'll be fun.
We finally can agree on something, buddy. Mean people suck no matter the nationality.
I agree. Totally agree. But anyway, maybe like we should have an egg fight. I don't know what does he want to do?
Well, strawberries. Don't pee on the strawberries because that will.
Scotto. He mentioned Scotto as well. Who else? I think there was like a whole list. I bet Vippy's now one of them. Oh, and Based.
Boston.
Oh my gosh, I love Boston.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he has Mitch on his list, we'll just let Mitch stand on business with him.
Yeah, that's true. 2,500. I'm gonna remember that. Just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. So, and I don't know where his battlefield is going to be.
Miss behind his desk. It's like Misty saying here, if he's hiding in his basement with his Bible and a gun. He pulled his gun out the other day, didn't clear his house, and just sat. Yeah, he heard something and he grabbed his gun and let it sit on his Bible. I'll just leave that there. Like, okay, make sure your house is clear or something, buddy.
Jeez Louise.
Got to keep streaming that game though.
Right. That's a good point. How are we gonna exactly if he's hiding in his basement? Go ahead. Oh yeah, Spider Dog too. I mean, point me out to the battlefield. It has to be somewhere in the middle because I don't
mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Yeah. Yep. I want to see what he wants to do to Mitch because I know he can't stand him. You know, but the list is
Long
getting
and
really
maybe
long.
distinguished.
Yeah, but I
I'm not
agree with
distinguished.
I agree with Mitch. The battlefield is in his head.
Yes, yes, you can see it working constantly.
Mm-hmm. But you know, I'm not worried.
What
What?
what honor has she not kept, Let's? Do tell.
Oh, I missed that.
Deep thoughts, Let's. Deep thoughts with John Handy.
Go ahead, explain, buddy. What are you talking about?
Or ADHD, Hiram. ADHD mixed with anxiety and maybe a little
Todd Commander's Fund. How do you know that I did not pay? I am actually very, very known as
let's that's
very
none of your
generous.
business, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I
And it's
came
for
out publicly to clear the record that I was giving the money even though Todd did not meet all of the requirements of the deal. I did it because I was feeling bad about bringing him into it and it potentially could get back to his family.
right.
Now, whether Izzy or Jimbo did anything or nothing, you don't deserve receipts. It's not for you.
Not even Todd. Like nobody, none of you deserve a thing. Okay. He decided to make it about himself. It's not about him. It's not about Todd or anybody. So stay out of it. You know, keep your dignity together, dude. It's not about
Go cry about 1A.
seriously.
Yep. That's why I went ahead and did it coded. I mean, I got to thinking about it, kind of made me feel icky, as Todd says about me feeling about women parts. DD214, we are important to gatekeepers. What that sentence doesn't make any sense, Let's.
I don't get it.
But this is fun. It's a fun experiment here, Let's.
Yeah, really. What you need a translator.
Can you type a proper grammatic sentence so we can understand what you're trying to say? Oh, Bill, yeah, absolutely. Let's is still owed nothing.
And neither does Todd or anybody, you know. What?
Just for fun, then what?
What are you even talking about?
What? Being 60-something shit? Oh.
You know, he's over
Bill's
60.
talking to
Yeah, he
Bill's
actually said
talking to Let.
Yeah, he said it that Let's person said that he is 65 or 68 or whatever it was. I don't know if he's forgetting his medication or what's going on.
It's already been said no, Let's. No means no.
Yep. No.
Well, ADHD mixed with anxiety, PTSD, or bipolar can do that to you if you're not properly medicated or diagnosed.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
I'm not making a diagnosis. I have only a bachelor's degree, and
Well, it's a known thing
psychology
anyway.
that I did over 30 years ago. So
Yeah,
my psychology has ran out.
that's funny. Just for fun. What is just for fun?
John Waltman, I know what he's talking about, but he needs to be clear in his request. I know he's talking about us requesting his DD 214, and now Let's thinks Izzy owes him Let's the receipts for a donation to Todd's commander.
Which again, it's not about him, not about you or the other moron. Here's the thing. Nobody really has to show anything to anybody, okay? Nobody forced Todd to go and bring his DD-214 to show to anybody. Todd went and said, no, I am not showing them. They are not my gatekeepers. How dare they? I am this, I am that. F3 backed off and said, whatever, the hell with it. Then he comes back weeks later and he's like, here is my DD-214 without anybody forcing him. Okay. So he's like, okay, you don't have to force me. I'll do it for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to ask me. You don't have to ask for it. I'll just go ahead and do it for you. Dude, come on now. Come on.
Come on, man.
How am I selfish, dude? How am I selfish? I literally fought for your freedom.
Do you know, Let's, that she didn't do that? Just a question. Do you know? You're making claims outside of any evidence. Is that a faith argument? Is that a sorry, Christians? Is that is that taking things on faith without any so many white knights? I'm not a white knight.
I'm speaking for myself. No one is saying anything. He's literally asking you. He's asking you, do you even know what's happening?
I just know the facts of the situation.
I've never asked for his DD-214 ever. Never asked for it. In fact, I showed up and they were already talking about it. And Todd did it on his own. He was like, you know what? They left him alone and he went and he was like, look, guys, here's my DD-214. Nobody asked him. I don't even care. So no, nobody is white knighting anybody. It looks like you are white knighting Toddy for some reason, which is so creepy. But what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, it's different if let me make something clear to you. It's different when I know the person is a friend, and I know their character, and I know what they've done or didn't do. So she owes you, Let's, OTVO, nothing. Oh, I know, Angel. He's got that chili brain, and that's okay.
I don't know what that is.
Well, when you see, you will don't go down the rabbit hole. Just watch a few of his videos. The rabbit hole is long, distinguished, and horrible, but still, Chili is better than Todd because he has a work ethic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know any of them. But see, here's this guy coming in trying to white knight for Toddy,
Yeah.
Then accusing.
She did hire him. She actually did. She got shot.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Gut shot sucks.
It really did.
Just ask Izzy.
It was not good. It was painful. And guess what I did right
receipts
after?
can be produced all the time, Let's. I have receipt for my truck. I have receipt for toys. That's just me.
Right.
You don't see the bath party in New Jersey? Hiram, I can do a whole show on how wars overseas are beneficial to the United States as a whole. How we leave those countries is another story, and the political hand tying also is another story. But she fought for us, and she fought for her own country. What she did saved American lives and Iraqi lives.
Yep. I was a huge part of that mission, completed the mission, and left. Almost lost my life multiple times. What were you doing? So
Plus,
I did.
plus she had to work with Josh and Hippie and Jason.
And just that alone is it's true.
Oh man, hate to love relationship.
Yeah, really. But you know what? I would do it the exact same way.
I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't change anything I ever did. So,
Well, except for
you just happen to get a great relationship out of it.
Yeah. So people like this dude who is here, White Knight, another dude is, beyond weird.
Let's why write out a all ever how many words you can use, and please tell us how Izzy lies, cheats, and steals. This will be hilarious.
I'll wait. I will wait.
Rebecca, what do you mean no politics? Did I miss something?
Exactly, Sammy. These people have no idea the horror that we went through. No idea.
Hiram,
But
this can be a whole series. I mean, if you want to talk to a primary planner of the Iraq War, I'm more than happy to talk to you about what I can talk to you about. Of course, you don't answer question, Let's. So just fuck off. Excuse me, Izzy.
No, it's okay. Yeah. He doesn't answer questions, but he wants receipts.
Yeah. Hey, this ain't the government, buddy. I love how you guys want to attribute things that relate to government to citizens to citizen. That's not how it works. Well, you're asking stupid questions, so anybody who says there's no stupid questions has never been asked a stupid question.
I will pray for you in the Muslim way.
I'll pray for you in the Hebrew way, and the God of Israel will touch you and bless you.
Yes. Oh, and I'm gonna pray.
Get the evil eye.
Yes, the necklace. I'm gonna pray that this evil eye necklace will protect you.
I can also, we'll do the pagan way. We can do Celtic. We can do Viking. We got you covered there, Let's.
Yeah.
Bless your little heart.
The people that I served with, people that I'm close with, know the truth. And yet to see a proof of Toddy's stories, yet to see anything to show or just confirm like the things that he said he did, right? We're still waiting. Still waiting. But yeah, there's nothing. Nothing. He sends his trolls to White Knight for him. Like this.
What?
Although I feel bad, he's an older man.
What double standard there, Rabo? What are you talking about, Hiram? Did I miss something? You wanted to be a Marine but weren't allowed to? Hey, are you the guy that was arguing with Izzy yesterday? That lives off your wife?
Oh, was he?
I don't know.
Well, it could be. I don't know.
I'm just kind of trolling him right now.
Yeah, I don't
It
know.
don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't remember honestly the dude's name, but this is really cute though to see this guy going full, force for
He's
54-year-old.
white knighting for.
Kind of, that's really cute.
So when a veteran's story doesn't make sense to other veterans, they ask questions. And the DD-214 is the fastest way to prove somebody wrong if you have a problem with them calling you out. If you don't care, you can be like based and say, fuck off. It's none of your business. But it bothered Todd. And it became this thing. I don't have a problem with my DD-214 being out there. It's out there. I've offered Todd to go NCOER to his whole career, one rating period.
Well, thank you for keeping it to your. I don't know what you want to say. You can say it honestly. If you have something to say, that's okay.
Yeah, it's just a weird way it's been coming out, bud.
Yeah, I mean, this is how we learn and grow. So there is something that you see, you want to ask, go ahead.
You're in here white knighting for toddler. Think about that.
Yeah,
you came in here where Izzy, Master Sergeant, Base, and
another
Triple T.
Master Sergeant.
Huh?
And another Master Sergeant.
Yeah. We're talking and having something, and then you want to go to something that was over friggin' 3 months
What is he talking about?
We're white knighting for you because he wants receipts for where you sent the money for Todd's commander.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I owe you nothing.
Yeah.
It's whatever I donated. It's between me and myself and I. Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, there were some trolls. For some reason, are super butthurt because I have done more for this country than they have, and I don't. It's obviously
It bothers them.
It bothers them so much. It's so weird. Sorry, we misunderstood your comment.
Yeah. Plus he's sitting Lola. Plus he's sitting there with his Purple Heart, like I do with my stuff right behind him.
Yeah.
Triple T.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps to have receipts.
Oh, let's it to Kaiser apparently.
Yeah, he's a. I don't know how he simps to all of. Great, you're leaving. Bye, OTVO. Go bother somebody else or suck up to Todd, Kaiser, or
Yeah.
Chili.
We will pray for you. Honestly, I'm gonna like channel the inner of this evil eye today, protect you from all evil. You will feel it.
I'll read you something, Let's see. You're going to figure this out real quick, Izzy. In the name of God, the merciful and the compassionate, praise belongs to God, the Lord of all being, the all merciful, all compassionate, the master of the day of doom. The only we serve, to thee we alone pray for succor. Guide us in the straight path, the path of those whom thou hast blessed, not of those whom against thou art wrathful, nor of those who are astray. I don't think that translated that Arab. Read it in Hebrew. I can't read it in Hebrew. It comes from Arabic.
It is Arabic. But
Yes.
no, that was awesome. And honestly, this was good.
It's a good prayer. I mean, just because it comes from the Quran, it's still not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
You
And
fooled us how, Let's. I just read you a great prayer.
Yeah.
Go in peace.
And you obviously, Ned, you know that I don't believe in the evil eye, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's just funny because people like him, oh, this is a cult. You're inviting the devil. I'm like, do you not wear a ring? It's literally just a fashion style. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you talking? Although his rings don't fit, but
Growing around.
it's just a yeah. He got the elastic ones. I don't know if you've seen it. He has like the rubber one or not plastic. Yeah. I don't believe
Mitch,
in that.
yes, she does. She's got those shadow boxes, flags, and she got me beat.
Well, most of it is my husband, but but I do have my bloody boots with blood stains on them. Anyway, but yeah, it's just funny how they're so obsessed with this necklace that literally means nothing. It's just something that the Mediterranean culture adapted years ago. Like literally, I'm talking like 7,000 years ago. It's just a fashion statement. I don't believe in it, but I really do love the fact that they think I do believe in it. But mashallah.
Mashallah.
Mashallah. There you go, GMK. That was actually perfect. And that's when people say it's funny. That's what people say. Like if you show them something nice, people's like, wow, mashallah, it's kind of cool. But anyway.
I mean, it's just words in another language.
Right.
And people flip out about it.
I know. I was listening to an Arabic podcast by this Christian guy, and every time he mentions God, he says Allah,
right?
Because that's the translation for God. And I was just like, every time he would say that, I would literally like just chuckle because for idiots like the toddlers, just don't understand it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Master Sergeant isn't spelled that way. And you can't steal something we made for Todd. It's just gauche.
Yeah, that's true. It's already done.
All right, I'm going to go see if my daughters want to grab some dim sum. So I'm going to try to enjoy them for a little while.
Yeah, I get it. Let's see. Oh, she does believe in the evil eye. Yeah, I don't, honestly. I believe in higher power, and I believe my relationship with the higher power is between me and the higher power. That's it. It's nobody's business.
Thanks, chat. Lolas, Misty, Hiram. Good to meet you. Sorry, we'll get used to your syntax and stuff eventually. Absolutely. Mitch, love always. Sammy girl, let's we appreciate the interaction. Sorry, this is your show. I didn't mean to take over.
No, you're good. I mean, that's literally what I was gonna say. Thank you so much. You know, we should do this often. I've been kind of off and just busy, crazy busy. But you know, we're gonna come back and start some of this stuff. And I enjoyed having this forum, and we'll do it again soon. Thank you so much, chat. Thank you for everybody for coming and having fun with us.
Yep.
All right. Laters.
I'm not a crook. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.